Alright, new run. We're not going to do any cards at all. No cards. Just normal difficulty. We're not going to do evil or holy phone or anything like that. Not sure why we even have any of these. I'm not going to bother with them. We'll just go ahead and get rid of them. What do we got here? Property search is huge. We definitely want to get this. But we don't need it right this second. We already have 7 charm slots. We don't even have anything for yet. Let's go ahead and grab the fake coin. And let's hit this so we can see if we get lucky with anything else. Not very good there. Right here, this is what we want to get next. The wheelbarrow. And that's pretty much it for this setup here. Wheelbarrow is important. This one and the one that adds tickets to cherries. We're going to be doing a lemon and a cherry build here. Or a cherry build, I should say, not both. One or the other. Mostly just depends on what kind of charms we get. For right now, we're going to focus on lemon since we have that charm waiting for us already. Not too bad on luck. Hey, not too bad at all. That was a pretty solid first round there. We actually almost have enough technically to finish this already, but we're not going to, obviously. It cost 4 tickets to get that, so since we're already in such good shape, why don't we go ahead and just do a regular spin with 3 for the 2 extra tickets. Okay. We're in pretty decent shape. We still need 1 more to get that. So let's go ahead and just do a regular 7 spin. We really only need, like, that right there. That should have technically been enough for us to finish this now, this deadline. We can afford our debt. Alright, well, that wasn't super good, but it also wasn't terrible. There we go. We now have enough to pay off our debt. We have enough to pick this guy up. So let's go ahead. Before we move on, actually, I have the fake coin. The 1 extra spin, 4 extra luck for that. That's kind of just it's a decent starting charm. I wouldn't recommend it later in the game, but for right now, it's perfect for a starting charm. Same thing with the wheelbarrow here. This one is super handy, especially early on. The earlier you can get something that gives you extra tickets, the better. You'll be reliant on being able to re-roll the shop and buy charms constantly the entire game, so the more tickets you can produce at once, the better off you'll be. Now let's pay off our debt. There's that. Charm space by 1. We're going to save this so we can use the megaphone later. And Abyssu, I think it is. One of those banishment ones to get 3 charm slots instead of just the 1. By using the megaphone, it'll repeat a phone call's reward by 1. So we'll have this chosen once. The megaphone chooses it a second time. And then if you ban it using Barathrum, not Abyssu, I'm pretty sure it's Barathrum. When you ban it using Barathrum, it goes away, and then when you get rid of Barathrum, it actually activates it again. So technically we'll get this 3 times if we save it for later. Right now we're focused on lemons for our ticket build, so why not go ahead and just get this right out the gate. There we go. Slightly increased our chance. Now we have a 28% chance of getting lemons, and lemons will also produce tickets. So those 2 together, very useful. Now we're going to come back and look at some more charms here. Sardines are great if we would have gotten the beach out or the property certificate, because you can use the surgery machine if you have the DLC. Keep in mind some of the stuff we get in this run will be DLC related, but it's not required to win. the charms that you use to mix in this surgery machine are beneficial on their own. The surgery machine just combines them, saving you space so you can use additional charms, and they usually give you an extra little bonus. For instance, the sardines here, and that property certificate that I was just talking about, if you combine them, you get the beach hotel. The property certificate gives you +2 charm space, but the beach hotel gives you +3. And if you kind of know how to manipulate charms, you can actually use another mixture of Abyssu, Barathrum, and I can never remember what the other one's called. The third portal charm. If you put all 3 of those together in the surgery machine, you can actually reclaim the charms used for the last surgery. So what I recommend doing is, if you're going to go that route, get all 3, Abyssu, Barathrum, and the other one, mix them all together first, then store that in your drawer, and once you get the property certificate and the sardines, make the beach hotel, and then use that portal right after so you get the property certificate back a second time. Then you'll actually be able to have the beach hotel and the property certificate at the same time, giving you 5 extra charm slots. Very useful. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, we don't have property cert right now, so we're going to skip sardines at the moment. Battery is kind of cool, but not super useful. Not for us, at least, not for this run. Again, nothing super useful, at least for the run that we're going for. We're basically just going to be building our symbol value, the multipliers for both pattern and symbols, and then our ticket build to start with. Once we get that going, we can easily build up how much money we make, our income, and then once we get to like exponential levels, then you'll kind of have the choice. If you want to switch into a different build completely, you'll have everything you need to go ahead and do that at any given time. Ooh, we are very broke, so let's go ahead and spin this. I didn't realize that we spent a little bit too much reroll in the shop there. There we go. This'll help. That was kind of huge. Free tickets. Immediately getting the benefit of that. We now have 3 tickets saved up already. Plus we get this one. So now we basically got a free charm, just because of that. Having this wheelbarrow has already granted us more tickets than we've basically had at one point so far. Now we need something for symbol value. Luck is a good start here too. We could do this to start with. We might actually do this for now, since we can get the extra tickets right away. Every skipped round, we're not going to do any skipping of the rounds, at least not yet. So let's buy this too while we're at it. So right now, we've got the lemon picture. It's going to manifest more often, +2 basically, so it's the equivalent of getting that phone call that we just got twice. We were at 27% before. We are now at 28, or no, I'm sorry. What were we at? 23%? Whatever we were at before. We're now at 28% as is, before using this button. So we're basically double every symbol at least, except for cherries, and we're 11% better than cherries at this point in time. We've got the coin in the wheelbarrow, and then this guy for the extra luck. Every time it triggers, which is a 20% chance, as you can see, we get 5 luck for that current spin. If we get lucky and trigger that with this coin, so if we get the coin the spin before, and then we spin again and get that, we'll actually have +9 luck, which is extremely good. So let's go ahead and do another set of 7 spins. The benefit of getting this ticket collection, you really never have to do this option. You can pretty much just ignore this at this point, because the more spins you get, the more likely you are to get symbols that give you the ticket modifier, which will give you more tickets than you would have gotten for just doing this in the first place. Plus you get additional spins, so more money, or better chance of more money. Go that route. Go 7 every time after you get to this point. Now we're going to hit this button, and that brings us up to 40%. We have a 40% chance of getting lemons now. Looking for some more ticket generation, just like that. There we go again. And we're immediately cruising our way up. We're at 6 tickets already. We could basically buy any charm we want at this point. Very nice. Now if we could just get our symbol value up, especially for lemons, we would be rolling in money already. That was actually not too bad, though. We nearly have enough to pay off the debt, although I don't want to do it just yet. I would like to get something for symbol value at this point in time, if we can get lucky enough to do so. This is also very useful. This is not bad. I think we're going to go with that for now, since we don't have any other guaranteed options just yet. We're going to buy both of them. We can also use this Ankh just in case. Let's do that. We'll grab the Ankh. I called it an Ankh, but it's an Ankh. Let's grab that. That gives us all 7 of our charms for now. We are going to roll this a couple more times just to check if we can get lucky. Cardboard house, this one here is super useful, but again, if we want to maximize our charm space, we don't want to get this yet. We would like to get Abyssu first, which will take any charm that doesn't take space, which is what it says right there up above underneath the cardboard house. If you pick this right now, it will never show up in the shop again, and you'll end up with 1 extra charm slot. If you get Abyssu first, when you pick this, you can use Abyssu basically to ban this, so you get the +1 charm slot, and then if you get rid of Abyssu, it actually gives you +1 again. So you'll get 2 out of this. Don't choose this until you're ready for it. Beyond that, we'll check these. Nothing again. We're not having a lot of luck at the moment for symbol modifier. This is decent. We don't have enough tickets for it, but really the best thing about this is if you get it very early and you carry it for a while, you can really get your symbols up. The downside is their base value is extremely minimal. As you can see, lemons go up by 2 at a time, same with cherries. We're going to see this number, if we get a good game, be like millions or billions at a time. So 2 going up 2 points is literally nothing. We'll skip that one more time. This here, super useful. We might end up actually just waiting here and grabbing that before we go to the next round. This is also kind of nice. Otherwise, again, we're not having a lot of luck so far with this. So let's go ahead and just go back to the spins. We need to make a lot. We basically have 100 at the moment. So we need an extra 100 tickets, or tokens here. Let's go ahead and do 7 spins again. We'll hit this guy for the bell, because that actually increases our symbols multiplier. So all these are now worth ×2. It's not a huge jump, but it's something. Go ahead and let it spin again. Hopefully this time we get a decent win, although we have the Ankh just in case, so it's not a huge deal even if we mess up. But I'm confident we'll get solid enough wins like this. There we go. 96, we have 130 plus the 75 there. We literally already have enough. And we're not even in that good of shape. This is pretty basic setup as far as charms go. So, let's continue on with this, see how much money we can make. We also have a ton of tickets again now, so that's nice. Almost finished. One more spin. Oh, okay. Got lucky. 1 extra spin. So we actually made the 200 we needed right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and deposit all but the last 10. I would like to take a look at the charm shop again here. Now this, I think we might take this and get rid of, I think we're just going to get rid of the Ankh. We didn't eat it this time, and this was when I was most concerned about needing it. That opens us up at our extra spot for that, so let's take that guy. And then we could just continue rolling the shop here, but instead, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next round. Mostly just because if we can get lucky and find the right charm, we're going to want to have charm Jesus. I cannot speak right now. We're going to want to be able to re-roll this shop as much as possible. There's a luck charm that will give you bonus luck based on how many times you've rolled the shop that deadline. So, it's very nice to start a fresh deadline with a little bit of money to continue rolling. So if we were lucky enough to have gotten it right here, and I rolled the shop 2 or 3 times, we actually get those bonuses for the luck. If I used it last turn and was broke when we started this, I would not be able to do that, and if we got the charm, it wouldn't apply the luck bonus. So, we're not doing evil or holy phone right now. I can actually literally spawn an evil charm right now. This is pretty rare. You don't get to see this early on, especially, very often, but I think we're going to see. If I was going to do a 666 run, this would be awesome. This is such a good start here. Doubling our coins, that's great. The tickets we don't need because we can generate them very quickly on our own. Even if I spent all 11 right now, if we got lucky with the next set of spins, we'll have more than 11 tickets at the end. So we get that. The spawning evil charm, we get a free charm basically for nothing. And if this is a 666 run or an evil phone run, that would be extremely useful right away. And then activating, obviously, all the other phone charms, that's just a nice one to get always. But the extra 0.6% chance of seeing a 666 literally syncs perfectly with getting the evil charms and doing a 666 run. So, this is super crazy good set of phone calls if I was doing a 666 run. We're not going to be doing that right now because I'm just trying to focus on showing you how to set yourself up so you can try these other builds that if you'd like to. This build here is basically as simplistic as it can get. We're just building a lemon or a cherry run. That's it. There's no special functions. Like I said, I didn't even pick a card or anything like that. This is as basic as it can get. So since we're not going to bother with that, this is kind of useful early on. It's not going to help a lot later. Again, the +2 for value means nothing. But considering we have... Oh, that's right. I had to clear the extra spot. Considering we have the bonus lemon chance right now, which is super nice. But this guy, that allows for us to repeat, and we have the ticket modifier, we can really get a lot of bonuses for lemons at this point in time. So out of these charms, which one do we want to get rid of? We're just going to get rid of the bell. It's nice to have the extra symbol. No, you know what? I kind of want to keep this, since that's our only thing to increase our value at the moment. Let's get rid of this guy. I know we're focused on lemons right now, but we actually already have a 28% chance, and we're in decent shape. I'm not really sweating at the moment, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to re-roll this just once for now. See, this is also kind of useful. We really need charm space right now, or the exact charms that we would like to use for the moment, but for now we're just going to go ahead, we're going to do one set of spins so we can rack up some coins here. Very nice. We got that twice. Now our lemons are worth 8. And we still have the ×2, so a lemon is now worth 16, which is more than literally any other symbol. Very useful. Got a little stretch of bad luck here, but that's alright. Oh no! Boy, we're really having a bad run here. Nice. That was decent for coins, at least. So that was not very good. For us, at least. We didn't get a lot of tickets or anything like that, but we did get some coins, which is great. Let's re-roll this a couple more times and see if we can't... This, right here. These are the kinds of charms that you absolutely want to get. 25% chance for the repetition modifier to be applied to any symbol, which is, obviously just useful in general, because no matter what symbol you roll, there's still a 25% chance you can repeat it. But combining that with, ticket additions, and right now the golden lemons, so if we get a whole jackpot of lemons, we have a 15 and a 25% chance, so 40% chance for those symbols to be repeated. We also have tickets being added, and golden symbols. So if, say 4 different lemons were gold and tickets, and we also had the repeat thing, we could get lucky enough to, say, pump 25 tickets out of a single spin, or we could increase the value by a crazy amount. This might be 32 or something after one spin. Very useful in combination. So we absolutely 100% want to get this no matter what. Even if I do not want to get rid of one of these other charms right now, we are absolutely going to use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it, put it in one of our cabinets right now, one of our drawers, just long enough for us to do one more spin so this recharges. We're then going to hit this bell one more time to turn this to 3, put the bell in the drawer instead, and then we'll take this out. So what we'll do is put this in a drawer, we'll buy this, come back and put him in a drawer, take this back out. Now we'll do the next spin. But first I want to deposit some of this, just so we can get a little bit more interest. The reason I'm doing this right now isn't really necessary. 666 at the moment is only going to empty however much we won for that spin, or that round. So if we did a whole round and we won 1,200 coins and we got a 666 at the end, we would just lose the 1,200 coins. The reason I'm doing this now is to showcase that this is an extremely smart move. As you get into the next deadline, 666 will be able to completely bankrupt you. So if I have, 100,000 coins I'm carrying and I only owe 1,200, but I get a 666 the last round, the game is over. That is it. I lost all of my coins. There is no way for me to pay this debt unless you have your debt almost paid at all times and the interest is going to be enough to push you over. So if I had 630 coins in here, the interest might be, say, 55 or something. That would automatically make me be able to pay for this, no matter what. This is just a really smart way to keep yourself from losing a run when you could have avoided it. Same thing applies for starting the next deadline. If I leave my coins down here now, from this point on, because I don't need to spend them at the moment, at any given time, if I get a 666, I always have a little stockpile of coins here, which means I'll be able to do a full set of 7 spins. I may be able to end a round that I would not have been able to afford otherwise. It's just very smart to do. So let's go ahead and get the next set of spins going. Nice. 160 for that. 64 for that one even. Oh yeah, we're making bank right now. 352. So we owed 666. We literally have 602 coins on us right now. Hopefully we can get lucky and get one more set of 11s here. Mostly just because I, excuse me, would like to rack up another stack of coins to reroll that shop a bunch. Not so lucky, but we still have one more round left, so it's not a huge deal. Now again, I'm not going to grab these anymore. I'm just going to sit here, pump this right up to the end. We only need 4 coins. There's 27 in here, and we're going to get 46 more for the next round. Plus, we have 406 we can spend on rerolls. So, let's go ahead and start this up. Fruit basket. Crazy useful for our build. Lemons and cherries, you absolutely want this 100%. Triggers an additional time, literally every single time for 10 rounds. Then it'll go away, you just buy it again by re-rolling the shop a bunch of times. But this is massive. Do not skip this. Again, right now, we wanted to use this bell this round. So what I'm going to do is put this in the drawer, just like we did last time. I'm going to buy the fruit basket, put that in the drawer for now. We're going to take the bell back out. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the bell in here. I put that in there. Now we're going to go ahead and do this a little bit more, continuing to look for any charms that we absolutely 100% want. Sardines are only useful when you get the cardboard house, so right now I'm not going to worry about it. Free tickets, that's always useful. This is okay. If this happened more often, it'd be very useful. Triggering patterns and extra time is always awesome. For certain builds, this is extremely useful. If you can continually extend how many spins that you're getting every round, this is like 100% worth grabbing. For this, right now, not so much. Only having the first round, or the first spin of a round, just not as useful. We already have 3 other charms that can repeat for us, and they can happen at any time. So, significantly more useful than this is. This is kind of useful as well, since we can pump out so many tickets. We might actually grab this just because we don't have much for our symbols value or multiplier at the moment, and this can really, really help for points. At the end of every deadline, we're going to earn 1 extra ticket for every X number of tickets that we have. The X is the current deadline. So right now we're on 3. We have 13 tickets, so that's technically 4 for every 3. 4 times 3 is 12. You get the idea. The reason that this works for value is because the more tickets you have, you can get charms that will actually increase your symbol value or multiplier based on how many tickets you're carrying. So if you wanted to go a ticket run, this is 100% useful. I'm debating on grabbing this right now. I don't think I'm going to, simply because we don't have the space, and we're already racking up a bunch of charms that we're waiting for. But it's 100% viable. If you wanted to use tickets to increase your value or multiplier, 100% grab this then. Very, very useful for that. More free tickets. Like this, right here. Those two together, crazy useful. I'm probably going to grab this anyways, just because right now we're at ×2. This here is already going to bring us up to ×5, which means that every singular lemon we get is worth 40 coins, which is a lot. I mean, one row of 3 then is 120 coins before applying any of these multipliers. If we get the horizontal 5 in a row, it's 400 for just that, and then times it by 5. You get what I mean? It gets exponential extremely quickly. So this is very useful. We're going to go ahead and buy this and put that in the drawer as well. And we are really just kind of hoping now that we get more charm space ASAP, because we're running out of storage space already. Yes, that's the one we wanted back, 100%. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do this right now. I should have hit this button last time. I'm pretty sure it was charged by then. But now we're going to put that bell away. We're probably just going to get rid of the bell at the moment now. We already have the multiplier increase. We're generating tickets, which means using the other one is going to increase this even further. So it's just the better option. That was huge. 900, and they're now worth 30, so each lemon is worth 90. We also have 17 tickets already, which is huge. 1,260. Jackpot? Hey, look at that. And now we're set for like the next 2 deadlines. $11,800, and we don't even owe 1,000 yet. Oh, there goes one of our luck charms, which is fine. The biggest thing about the coins isn't being able to afford our deadline. It's the fact that we can now re-roll the shop like 100 times, however many we need to get the charms that we're looking for. Specifically to get more charm space at the moment, because we desperately need that. Huge. Incredible last round there. We also have 33 tickets at the moment. So, like I said, if we were to take this, and I'm just going to get rid of it entirely. We no longer care about that or need it. If we were to equip this, we now have a ×11 multiplier. So our lemons are worth 413 or something like that, or 11. And it's an unrealistic number. It's crazy. One singular roll of 3 lemons is now worth like 1,300 for us, which is more than our deadline is. The most basic pattern will already pay the entire deadline off. So, big thing now. Last time I mentioned starting the next round before you re-roll the shop. I'm going to break my own rule here just for a few spins, simply because I'm not focused on the luck charm yet. We don't have it. I'm more or less focused on just trying to get extra charm space at the moment. This is super useful if we're going to go for a clover run. The clock. This thing here, it's broken. This clock is broken. There's just no other way to put this. If you do a battery run, you can basically make yourself have infinite rounds. You will never have to worry about paying a deadline because you will never end a deadline. Yeah, I've seen people have like 30 rounds up here. It is unreal. You can forever play in deadline 1 if you're lucky enough to get this charm and a battery charger one. specifically the little doll guy, that gives like a 25% chance to add the battery symbol to any charm, or any symbol. If you can get that and this clock in round 1, with a little bit of luck, you can literally play forever and never even end the first deadline. It's insane. Maybe one day I'll do a video on that too, just because it's insanely broken. This has got to be one of the most broken charms in the game itself. It's crazy. But we are not doing a battery run, so we're going to ignore that. Not really having much of a luck here. Alright, we'll do... Oh, we want the crowbar. See, this is also very useful, but there's a charm that we are missing right now that will double the chances of any charms that trigger randomly. So you'll notice this says it's 35% chance to trigger randomly. That charm, mixed with this one, puts that at 70%. So you are 7 out of 10 times going to trigger this, which an extra pattern trigger is huge. I mean, we already have the chance to do that with multiple other charms, so adding an extra one just makes it even better. I also forgot that we broke our luck charm, so let's grab that. However, we do not have the charm that doubles this, and right now I don't care about repeating symbols more often. We already have enough tickets, we have enough money. I literally just need more charm space at this moment. That is the priority. Nothing there. Hey, this here, I would almost say to buy this every single time. In fact, I'm going to probably buy it right now, even though it doesn't actually help, just because of how good it is. Buying this at any point literally just adds an extra round. Again, you can cheese this system if you have enough money. You can just re-roll the shop indefinitely and just buy that every single time. But it's very rare. You will not see this show up like back to back to back to back. It's going to be like one, and then like 30 re-rolls later you might see it again. So keep that in mind if you plan to use it. But if you do see it, there's really no reason to not buy it unless you just don't have enough tickets. This one, pretty useful early on. Every spin increases all symbols by their base value for every pattern triggered after the second one. So, for right now, we have lemons at a 28% chance. Say you had this at like 60% and you would get jackpots 3 out of 7 spins. This here would make your symbols go crazy. Every single time you trigger beyond the second one. So a jackpot is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's got to be 12 different patterns. And then the jackpot itself at the end. So you would get 10, basically. 10 additional value increases. Lemons are worth 2. You do that 10 times. Your lemon value just went up 20 by a singular spin because of that. I don't think we're going to grab it right now because we're already fairly well set without it. And we're just focused on the charm space. But I would even argue that it's worth grabbing regardless. I could grab this and just throw it in a drawer and save it for later. It'd be very useful. I have a different plan in mind already, so I'm not going to. But 100% if you see this, if you are watching this video, I assume that you aren't a master of the game yet. Get this charm. Just do it. It's worth having. This, that 666 run I was talking about earlier, 100% would have... I should have done a 666 run this game, honestly. It's like pushing me into that exact field. I could have done Evil Phone Call. I could have already gotten all those bonuses. I could have grabbed this for the extra 666 bonuses. I would have already had an increased chance of a 666. 100% this charm is great for that. Again, we're not doing a 666 run, so not going to worry about it. Excuse me. Token modifier I don't really care about. This is great if you're going to do interest runs. The more you have your interest increased, which this can go pretty crazy. You can get up to like 20-30% of your deadline. It's a good way to pay for your debt later in the game when you're into the high exponentials, just because your increased debt goes up by so much every round. It can be hard to keep pace with it. With an interest build, you're pretty much guaranteed to keep up because it's always going to pay you a percentile of what the debt is, regardless of how much you make for your symbols. Again, we're not doing that kind of a run, but just keep that in mind if you ever do an interest run, it's worth having. Boy, we're not having, like, any luck here. There it is again. We're being taunted with these extra spaces over and over again, but we're not being given the charm we need in order to take advantage of it fully. This is the last respin for us. There it is. This is the charm I was talking about. Also, this guy, 100% need that now. So this triggers every single charm that we have that triggers randomly, as it says, doubles that chance. We've got this guy, triggers randomly 15, so this will be a 30% chance to trigger. We already burned our other luck one. Same thing. Oh, this one doesn't trigger randomly though. This is a 25% base chance. Is this one? No. I feel like it's mostly just the luck charms that trigger randomly, and this coin. That puts us up at a 20% chance for that. So on and so forth. Very useful. My throat is getting a little dry. I apologize for the coughing here. We want to get both of these. They're extremely useful all around. We're going to store both of these for just a second so we can buy. We'll put him in the drawer. Buy this. And now we're going to take out this so I can put this guy back for now. And we're going to have to go through our charms and decide which ones we want active at the moment. We definitely want to keep this. Our symbols value, we may be putting the lemon away here pretty soon. You know what, let's just move on to the next round quick. We got everything we wanted for this, with the exception of extra charm space. Great, thank you. Again, I'm not going to touch these coins. I'm going to go ahead and deposit all we needed. This is how you get cards, by the way. If you already have enough coins to pay off the next deadline when you start it, you will be offered this deal. If you click on the ATM, he's going to come up with this option here. If you pay off the debt for this deadline immediately, without doing any spins, he will give you a card pack. And this will stack continually. So we get one for this one. If we skip the next one, we'll get 2 card packs, and then you'll get 3. I chose not to use any cards this time because we got a lot of comments about how not everybody has the cards, and it feels unfair to use the cards if you don't have access to them. I would argue the last video I just used the In Loving, or I cannot remember what the name of that card is. Maybe it's In Loving Memory, it's something like that. Anyways, the card basically just duplicates phone call rewards. So, the last video, it really didn't affect too much. It's 100% possible to do everything in that video without having that card. It just increases the speed at which things happen, and it gives you extra charm slots. So, First Love, that's what it's called. Using the First Love card means that if I was to grab a phone call that gave me 1 extra charm slot, it would give me 2 extra charm slots, without having to use the Megaphone or Barathrum. So you can see how adding that extra one, it just adds 1 extra layer. I could still use Barathrum, the Megaphone, grab the charm slot phone call, and I would still get +3 charm slots instead of +1. Using First Love just means that I get +4 instead of +3. It literally doesn't change anything else. The biggest use for it is the multiplier. In that video, I used the phone to double the value of a symbol that I was using, and I was showcasing how if you do that at the end of a round, or the end of your deadline before starting the next one, it will double the value of that symbol where it currently is at that moment. So if we were to sit here and use like the golden lemons that we have, double our symbol value all the way through, or add +2 to it, until the end of this deadline, and say we're at, 30 right now for lemon value, so say we got it up to 50. If I took the phone call then, it would double the value to 100. Same thing, using the Megaphone and Barathrum, it just continually doubles that. So the phone call doubles it to 100, Barathrum doubles that to 200, and then using the Megaphone, well, I should have put that in the other order because you need the Megaphone first. Phone call doubles it to 200, Megaphone doubles it to 400, and then using Barathrum to ban the phone, or the Megaphone, and use it again to ban the phone call. Jesus, I'm mixing this up. It will double that even further, so 400 to 800 kind of a thing. I explained it a little bit in that video, but other than that, the First Love card doesn't really add anything. But the point was, a lot of people mention that they don't have the cards yet, that they don't understand how to get them. This is how you grind them out. Do exactly what I did in the start of this video. Get yourself to a point to where you're making more than what you owe, and every deadline, if you have enough coins, you'll be offered this option. I suggest not taking it early. If you're going to grind card packs, do what we're doing here. Play another 2 deadlines or something like that. Get yourself up to the point to where you're already in exponentials, and you can skip like 5 deadlines in a row, which means you're going to get 1 card pack for the first one, 2 for the second, 3 for the third. you can see how that adds up very quick. By the time you're done with one really good game, you might have 40 card packs to open. You'll already have a plethora of them to use or choose from to test yourself or to try out different builds with, etc. You get the idea. Anyways, we're not going to do this. Again, we're going for the exponential build. I don't care about card packs right now. I can do that anytime. We are now going to check the phone call quick. What do we got here? Increase the value of patterns. No, no, and no. We're going to re-roll. Charm Space. We'll save that one just in case we get lucky and get Baratherum and the Megaphone. None of these are very useful for us. We do want that. Also not very useful for us. Not very useful for us. We are having terrible luck when it comes to our Charm Space options here. Okay, this right here, super useful. 100% want to get this as well. That increases this. This is your pattern multiplier. This does the same thing as our other guy does here. 25% chance. This actually also decreases over time, but we'll just go with what it says currently. 25% chance. The repetition modifier, this does the exact same thing with the chain symbol, basically, which adds to our pattern multiplier. So, obviously putting these in tandem works very well. Right now, we haven't increased any of our pattern multipliers. So this is where all of our big math is coming from. Because our lemons are worth 38, and we have a times 9 multiplier. If this was 40 just for easy math, that's 360 per lemon. Times 1 is still 360. If this is times 10, now it's 3,600 per lemon because of this pattern multiplier. Not per lemon, I should say, per 3 lemons because it's mixed together. You get the idea. I don't want to have to do the full math times 3 and then times 10 after that, but you get the idea. It's pretty obvious. We desperately need Charm Space so badly right now. Which of these do we want to put away? You know what? Let's put this away for now. You know what? Actually, we're going to just get rid of this. 100%. We don't need it anymore. It's very useful for the first deadline or two. At this point, I'm not concerned about being able to pay it. We don't need the extra spin. It's not going to do much. We do want this 100%. Immediately got it back again. There it is. Right here. This is the luck charm. Not a luck charm. Not another good one. 100%. This is the absolute best luck charm in the game. I don't care what you say. There is no argument. You have to reroll this shop for basically every build you do, tons of times. This gives you +2 luck every single time you have respawned this shop in that deadline. We're already at place 18 luck. That's enough for us to guarantee jackpots every time this triggers. We also have the horseshoe, which takes this 10% chance and makes it 20%, which really fixes it. That would be the only argument I could see against using this, is it's only a 10% chance to trigger. Even then, I would still argue it's the best. With the horseshoe, increasing that to 20, there is no argument. It is the best charm for luck. Again, we need Charm Space desperately. We're just going to get rid of this now. We don't care about this anymore. The pattern multiplier +1 was great early on, and it does give us a 30% chance with the horseshoe, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's the charm. We're going to keep that no matter what. I don't even have space for the horseshoe right now. I'm just going to use it at 10% because it's just that good. Oh boy. One of these days we're going to get something useful and we're going to be able to actually get all of our charms going. Just maybe. I have not seen Baratherum, Abyssu, or Virago. That's the third one I couldn't think of earlier. Not a single one. This guy is huge, but we don't need it right now. We're absolutely going to use this later. There it is, Megaphone. We're going to buy this. God bless America. I am so out of space, I don't even know how I'm going to work this around now. We might have to get rid of the horseshoe and get it back, just because it's a common charm. So we have the space, because if I put one of these in a drawer right now, and then we buy the Megaphone, not only are we going to have -1 to our charm space, but it won't matter, because that will be the 7th charm no matter what. But I won't have a drawer to put the Megaphone in to take our other charm out of. So, if you get to this point, I would take a serious gander at your charms and the charm you're trying to purchase and decide, is the charm you're going to purchase worth getting rid of a charm you are currently using or want? That's the question we're at right now, and my answer is yes. We do want that megaphone, even over this, considering we can't use this right now anyways, and the fact that we're absolutely going to get another one of these at some point in the shop. So, we're going to throw this away. A little heartbroken, but it is what it is. We're going to put the doll away, buy the megaphone. Now we're going to put the megaphone away, take our doll back out. Now, we need Virago or Baratherum for the phone call, but we need Virago so we can get the cardboard house, and we also need the property certificate at some point in time. Oh, we're dead broke. See, I should have been paying attention. We spent all of our cash. Not that it matters, but... Do. And there we go. We immediately got 1,000 back. That's the nice thing about this. Even with terrible luck, which I have in real life, so... that's why I focus on charms that guarantee massive amounts of luck, like that one there. We're still basically guaranteed to win no matter what, simply because of that. And that triggered once, we immediately get a jackpot. And there we go. We have more money now than we had when we started, and we spent everything. And a ton of tickets, too. We're also not using the fruit basket, which would have triggered every single one of those another time on top of that, because we don't have the charm space right now. 51,000 from just that. We are like 25 times our debt at this moment. We have 64 coins sitting there. I didn't even put the rest of this in here yet. Kind of slacking. There we go. Now, again, we need to go back to spinning until we get lucky enough to find something that will help us increase our charm slot. Again, fantastic that we're seeing this, but we still have not seen Virago, Baratherum, not a single one of them. We haven't seen any of the three yet. Been very unlucky on that. And it's getting to the point now to where our shop is getting crazy expensive for this deadline, so we might just be unlucky and have to wait until next deadline before we can even try. This is another thing that we're going to pick up later. It would still be useful right now considering we have this lucky charm, but again, we just don't have the charm space. We need that over everything else. It's very frustrating when you get to this point and you sit and spin this shop 1,000 times looking for the one thing that you need. This guy would be great too for the surgery machine, but again, we just don't have any slots for it, so we're just going to sit here and continually do this until we get it right. It's got to be my only gripe with this game, is it's extremely fun, but making specific charms rare or common, I get the idea behind it, and I agree that some charms are overpowered, so guaranteeing or having an equal chance of getting them would kind of sway everything into your favor, which goes against the whole point of this. You know, gambling is bad. Being addicted to it's terrible. You're obviously never going to win a bunch. But the fact that you can break the game means that you already ruined that, because I can guarantee that I win basically every single time. So that is beyond that. It's just a nuisance to sit here and have to re-roll for those 5,000 times in a row. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We still have another round left. We'll do a couple of spins, but it's getting to the point to where it's 11,000 apiece now. This guy here, super useful. Again, we just don't have the charm space, so we're just going to have to wait. And it's just going to sit here and tease us over and over and over again. Where are the other things? This is actually getting ridiculous. There is no reason I should not have seen Virago, Baratherum, or one of them at least at this point in time. Just one. I haven't seen a single one out of like 100 spins we've already done in this. It's just crazy. That's insane. We're going to end up having to skip the extra charm slot phone call too, because we have the megaphone, but we will never get Baratherum at this rate. Very frustrating. Those 666s are more of a nuisance than anything too. You very rarely actually get all three of them. It just basically tells you that, look, I ruined what would have been probably a good spin for you by putting 2 6s right in the middle. We don't really need the coins to progress right now, but I need as many as possible to reroll that stupid shop 1,000 times to find any of the charm slots, the Abyssu or Virago, Barathrum. I'm not even going to bother to respin the shop right now because it's just too expensive. We're going to have to just pick a different phone call. Let's see. There we go. We'll just do this one for now. It's good enough. I am also... We do have the spot for it, so let's put this in the drawer. Grab the megaphone, wherever it is. There it is. This won't trigger the extra time because we don't have Barathrum, but it doesn't really matter. The whole point is just increasing our value. So right now it's at 70. It'll bring it up to 140, and then we're also going to have the megaphone to increase it again. So this will be huge for us. There we go. We're now at 280. Like I said, the phone call doubled it to 140. Megaphone turned it to 280 by doubling it again. We'll put that back in there, and we'll grab our doll back. And we're going to end this deadline. The reason we're doing this now is so we can reset the cost of the shop, the charm slot shop. Jesus, I cannot talk today. There it is. It's back. Perfect. So we'll save that again. Pay off most of the debt. Again, like I said, this is that deal that happens every time. Okay, close enough. We actually have the 20... There's got to be more than that in there, because there was... The interest from the payout last time was more than that. I must have collected those without paying attention. Anyways, back to rolling the charm shop a bunch of times until we can get lucky here. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. Abyssu. This is for the cardboard house. It says it doesn't take space. This means that it activates it twice. We 100% need that. Again, I'm going to have to get rid of another charm. This is really, really getting upsetting here. We haven't been able to use either of these two yet, though. I'm keeping Raging Capitalist. I see this more often. We'll get it back. I'm a bit bummed right now, but that's okay. We'll just have to deal. Now, hopefully we can get the card... Oh, property cert. We want to get this 100% right now, too. And this one is actually nice because I can just put one charm in the drawer, buy this, take my charm back out, and ta-da. Now we need the sardines, though, as well, if we see those. So keep an eye out for sardines, and we're looking for the cardboard house. I'm basically going to ignore every other charm right now, even though there are some that we want, like this painting. I'm just going to ignore them until we get the charm slots. That's our focus at the moment. Both of these we want. We're going to ignore them. Aha! Barathrum, phone call, right there. We're buying that, and now we can do this. Let's put him away. We're going to grab the megaphone. Now, the way this works, I'm going to explain this very thoroughly so you do not mess this up. Barathrum itself, whenever you pick a phone ability, it bans it automatically. Just having this charm equipped means if you take that phone call, it will ban it. You want this to happen. Make sure this is equipped before you take this phone call, and make sure you have the megaphone equipped so it also applies. Now, the idea. Using these in combination works just like our status, or our symbol multiplier did last time. We grabbed the phone call that doubled this, the megaphone doubled it again, so it went from 70 to 140 and then to 280. This is going to happen the same way with our charm slots. We take the phone call, it gives us 1 extra. Without the megaphone, we have 9 charm slots right now. It says 8 because this is -1. So, we'll be at 9. We take the phone call, that gives us 10 spots. We take the phone call with the megaphone, that gives us 10, and then it gives us 11 using the megaphone. With Barathrum, it's going to do that again, so we're going to end up at 12. Always make sure you have these in the correct order. If I grab the phone call before I equip this, I do not get that phone option again. That is it. I already missed my chance. So, we have Barathrum equipped, we have the megaphone equipped. We aren't using any cards, so First Love does not apply here. Come back, grab the phone. We want 1 extra charm slot. Boom. Grab that. There we go. You'll see the little Barathrum shows up on screen there. Now we're at 10, technically 11, because we still have this equipped. Go ahead and put this in the drawer. There we go. And now, what you do is throw this away. When you discard one of these charms, Barathrum, Virago, any of those, it automatically brings back whatever it banished. For this one, it banished our phone call. Please don't throw my stuff away. 1 extra charm slot. Throw this away. Boom, it triggers it again. We now have 12 charm slots. That was the one thing 100% holding us back. Now, I gotta keep Bisu until we find the cardboard house, but we are now at 12 charm slots. I have all of those equipped. We only have 9, and I could have even used the 2 we had to get rid of already, which would have put us at only 11. We'd still have 1 extra charm slot. So now we can start looking for those charms that we skipped last time, or we had to get rid of. This guy here I really want to grab, but right at this moment it's just not as essential as getting some other charms set up first. So we're going to ignore that one. Again, 100% I could grab this right now for extra rounds. We're not going to bother. Excuse me, jeez. There it is. Cardboard house. Now, equip this guy. This works the same way as it did with Virago, or Barathrum for the phone call, but this works for charms that you have the doesn't take space option. Now, whenever we buy a charm with doesn't take space, and we have this equipped, it will ban it, just like it did with the phone call. And then we discard this, and it will unban it, meaning we get the bonus from this twice. Right now, it's going to add 1 to our charm slot. We buy it, boom, 1 to our charm slot. Now, we get rid of this by throwing it away, and boom, 1 more to our charm slot. So we just came from being stuck at 7 of 7 charms for all 4 of our first deadlines to we doubled that to having 14 charm slots in one go. And keep in mind, if you're using cards, First Love would have doubled that phone call, would have doubled the symbol value thing. It just speeds things up. So again, not necessary but very useful. Otherwise, we're in very good shape right now. The only thing we're missing is the Beach Hotel, which would add 1 more charm slot over this. And then, by using the Virago, Barathrum, and again, Abyssu, those 3 together in the surgery machine, and the Beach Hotel and property certificate, we can actually add this +2 to that +3. So we'd be at 15, and then 2 more, we'd have at 17. This can even go farther than that, but for the sake of this video, that's more than enough. 17 is going to have every charm that you might want to use at the time. Now, back to this. Again, I really want to get these, but we have other charms that we're focused on looking for right now. Specifically, I would like to get the other dolls. We lost 1 of these little dolls already. We'd like to get the other one. And we want to get all 3 of these guys. I say those... oh, we got the second one here. Never mind, we didn't lose them yet. We want to get these 3 because the surgery machine lets you combine all 3 of them together for what is an extremely useful doll. You can also combine these littler ones, but it's not as useful. There's a build for this that works really well, but for the sake of our build, we're not going to use it. Let's see where we can find it at. This is the mixture, by the way. Abyssu, Barathrum, Virago makes the black hole. This is how you get the Beach Hotel, and you get the property certificate both at the same time. There it is. Greedy King. This is what we're looking for. The Mad Emperor uses those 3 dolls, Greedy King, Naughty Dealer, and Raging Capitalist. Now, 10% chance for any symbol to have any symbol modifier. You arguably having just the 2 dolls that you want specifically is just as useful. I mean, I think you actually have a better chance until they break themselves down. You get the 25% chance right out the gate. But this one actually builds its way up over time until it hits 25 and then it stays there. So it's really up to you. The reason I like having the other one is because then you don't really necessarily need to have like the golden symbols. Like this guy, we could technically get rid of this now anyways since our value is so high. But it adds the same chance, this option here, to any symbol. And it works for everything. So if we get our lemons up to, an 80% chance of showing up, and we have that mixed doll, we can get an interest build going on, we can get extra free tickets, we can increase our symbol multipliers, we can increase our pattern multipliers, you get battery symbols if you're using a battery build. It's just extremely useful. Again, if you're being very focused on one specific build, choose the dolls that work for those, and you can ignore this mix. If you want to have just a general setup like we have right here, having that doll is actually great. That means that I could switch into any other build I wanted, 666 build, I could go into the battery build. Having those symbol multipliers will just synergize with any one of those that we're looking for. So, kind of up to you, but for now, we're not going to do it right this second because I don't have them. But once I get the other 2 dolls, I am going to make that because it's a useful one to have. Again, if you do not have the DLC, you don't have the surgery machine, you just use the dolls that you want instead of mixing them. For instance, we have this guy right here. There is one other doll guy that we would like to have as well, and I would just use those two instead of having all three of them mixed into that one. It's viable regardless. Oh, we're poor again. I keep forgetting to pay attention to how much the shop is costing us. I'm just getting antsy. Now that we're getting our charm slots opened up, I'm excited to get our build fully going. 48k in one spin, not too shabby. It'd be great to get our horseshoe back now that we actually have the space for it too. So all of these are increasing our symbol, or our pattern multiplier. See, this was times 1 before, times 1. We're at a significant jump already. That also applies to our symbol value and our multiplier over here, which is up at 19 now. So you'll see our score is about to start going crazy very quickly here. If we can get one, I mean, even the cherries are worth 4,256 at this point. We're doing very well. We're set extremely good to begin with. If we can get a few of the charms that we're looking for, we will be automatically, we'll already be in the exponentials, probably like a deadline or two from now. There's a horseshoe back, we wanted that. Aha! We don't really need this again, not yet, except for the surgery machine. There is a couple of uses for this you could do if you're looking to, but for us, we're just going to store it for now. If we can get Barathrum and Virago, we're going to go ahead and make that, and then we'll wait until we can get the property certificate using the sardines after the fact. So if we see sardines right now, we'll probably just skip them. We do have the space to equip them if we wanted to, but I want to be able to store all three, Virago, Abyssu, and Barathrum down here. And we still have the megaphone, which I'm going to hold on to for a little bit longer. Nice. You can grab this guy if you plan to do the mix of those three guys. I'm not going to this time, because these two are the ones that I'm focused on, but if you wanted to, that is always an option. These are kind of useful. I think I already mentioned them earlier, the small mushrooms. Early on, not so much now. Right now I'd be focused on getting the big mushroom instead. That'll give you more benefit. We don't really need any of these luck charms. This guy is kind of cool. If you get him early on, it's pretty useful once you get the excuse me, the right charms going. Ones that you know you're going to trigger quite a bit. Like, for instance, by the end of this game, if we have our setup perfect and the charms going on correctly, we'll probably trigger 3 to 5 charms every single spin. So this goes up pretty quickly. There is better ways to increase your value and stuff, but it's very useful if you're struggling for something to increase your symbol multiplier. It's a good choice. If you don't already have a means to get this up, grab this if you see it. Oh, again, we're broke. This is getting crazy expensive. We really need to get our values up here a little bit so we can start making more money. We're at the point now to where I just want to spin the charm shop like 500 times to get exactly what we need. 143k is pretty solid. We're getting there. If we can get that lucky guy to trigger once, right there, here we go. Shame that wasn't lemons, but that's alright. That did help with our pattern multiplier. Not very lucky that time. We got the one jackpot, but it was Clover's. Uh-oh, we lost both of our dolls. We're going to want to get them back ASAP as well. Well, there's one of them. That's nice. Couple free tickets. I am going to grab this now. Just because we have the charm space. Pour again. Alright, we're going to quick pause this real fast so I can go grab something to drink. Alright. Now, we needed a bunch of cash. We still got one more round left, so let's go ahead, do another spin, get as much money racked up as we can so we can start rolling for those other charms. Oh, look at that. We finally lost everything that we earned this round. We need one jackpot of lemons to really set us up right now. We'd be in fantastic shape. Unfortunately, we're just not getting that lucky yet. But we got the picture to trigger right there. Doubles all the values of every symbol basically until the end of the round. So we're at 288 value now. Symbol multipliers times 22. So we're making a fortune just from lemons. That doesn't include our pattern multiplier either. Of course, we didn't get lucky enough to see them that time, but at some point we will. I shouldn't have grabbed that, but I wasn't thinking clearly. We might end up just finishing this and going to the next round, because this is really expensive now. It's going to be half of our total income, basically, just for a single spin. So let's finish that. We already grabbed the phone call, so we're not missing anything. We'll get the offer again for the free card pack. We're going to ignore that. Nope. We'll go ahead and deposit everything right up into our limit, just like so. And now let's go back to spinning, but we're going to check the phone call quick. None of these are very useful for us. The red phone calls, you need to ignore them if you want to get the holy phone. You have to skip 3 of these. I would recommend skipping them pretty much all the time, unless you're going to go for a 666 run or an evil phone. Just don't even bother. They're very rarely worth it. So I'm just going to ignore that. Even though I'm not going to actually do the holy phone, I'm just not going to use that anyways. This guy's okay. If you're doing an interest build, he's really good. We could technically grab him, which would give us 2 of the 3 to make the super charm, which I might do and just throw him in a drawer, actually, just because I just kind of want to show how that works. Spin again. Again. We might just buy this, honestly, just for now. We can get rid of it later. We have enough charm or tickets to be able to buy it, basically any charm we want, and we're having really bad luck. So just having it around is just going to help. Once we get the charms we actually want, I'll just get rid of it. There we go. We got our fruit basket back. That's huge. We 100% needed that. Well, there's the third one. So we could technically now... I've got 1, 2... Where was the third guy? Right here? We have these 3. So we could actually do... Oh, are we missing one? I thought we had all 3 of them. Raging Capitalist. Oh, that's right. They got to be in the drawers. I'm sorry. Sure, for a second. Put this in the drawer. Okay. So now we have all 3 of these. We have them in the drawer. We can mix them together. The difference is, instead of having Greedy King and Raging Capitalist, which is the ones that we had right now, doing the random symbols, we can combine all 3 of them together and we can get a mixture of every single symbol on every single possible symbol. Or every modifier on every symbol, I should say. That's the way to phrase it. So now we have one singular... It's equipped. One singular charm that does all of the above. 10% chance for any symbol to have any symbol modifier. Increases the bonus by 10% for each other surgery charm on the table. Right now, that's the only surgery charm we have. Once we get all 3 of these guys put together and we make the beach hotel, we're actually going to have a second one, so that'll bring that up to 20% then. So we'll have a 20% chance for any symbol, so on and so forth. If you're really wanting to go crazy on these guys, you can do all kinds of different charm combinations. I don't really use a lot more than that. Normally it's just this one, Abyssu, Virago, and Barathrum all together, and then the Beach Hotel. Those are normally the only 3 that I use for this build. There's plenty of other combinations that are very beneficial for other builds, though, so keep that in mind. Well, we might as well buy that again. Extra deadline, or extra round for this deadline. Free tickets. And we're poor again. Back to spinning. One of these days we're going to get a big jackpot, and we're going to be able to spin that thing until our heart's content, but we just haven't been very lucky so far. Even when we get lucky, we don't get lucky. We are going to get a lot of triggers, though, because of that fruit basket that we just got. Re-triggers every single thing on top of the re-trigger chance. This one was huge. These three are pattern multipliers, these three are repetition modifiers, and we got a ticket modifier. So we just made all of our tickets back. We increased all of our pattern multipliers by a lot. Times 6 times 32, 36 times 700 for the jackpot. 346 value times 23 for the lemons. And we're set up very well. If we ever get lucky enough to get a lemon jackpot, we are going to be set for life. We're already in the millions now. We just triggered the painting again, so all of our patterns are up even higher. $2 million for just that. Come on, lemons. There we go. We've been waiting for this the whole time. And there we are. These are almost $1 million a piece at this point already. Over $1 million for the bigger. Nearly $10 million. Over $14 million for the jackpot. So now we're up at 114 tickets already. We just made 101 million. So we have $109 million now. And our debt at the moment is tiny. I mean, it's minuscule compared to this. 33,000. So we're already basically set up. Technically, right now, if you got lucky enough with the shop, you could already completely transition into whatever build you wanted at 109 million. I'm going to keep going until we get to exponential values. The point of this video is to showcase how to set yourself up to get to a point to where no matter what, you'll be able to build anything or switch into any build that you want. We're basically there now if you got lucky. You've seen how expensive this shop can get. If we get unlucky and I have to re-roll this 30 times, we're going to blow through this 109 million in a heartbeat. So, I'm not going to end it here. We're going to keep going. I'd also like to showcase all of the charms that I would be using when I'm fully set up. Look at that. We have 4 rounds left now when we've already done a round. So, because we got lucky and saw that twice, we've already brought this from 3 to 5 rounds this deadline alone. The most beneficial time for that is when you get the correct phone call, the one that we used earlier that doubled our symbol value. If you can get that to happen right when you have that phone call, you basically just wait until the end of all your rounds. Get as many rounds as possible using things like this painting that... Oh, the other painting, sorry, this one ends at the end of the round. Ones that end at the end of the deadline, that reset then. Once you get those, like the big mushroom, for instance, the one that we haven't been lucky enough to find yet, this one, too, goes just until the end of the round. So that's unfortunate. We don't have the big mushroom for me to show you. But that one specifically goes until the end of the deadline, and it doubles all your symbols value. So if we have, say, 10 rounds instead of 3, we can burn through all 10 of those rounds, making this symbol value as high as possible, and then use Barathrum and the megaphone to take that phone call, and it will triple or double whatever that value is currently at. So if we went 10 rounds and this was at, say, 10,000 for easy math by that point, if we got 10,000 there, we use Barathrum and the megaphone and this phone call, it goes from 10,000, it doubles that to 20,000, Barathrum will double that again to 40,000, and then the megaphone will double that again to 160,000. If you do that at the end of your deadline, we start the next deadline, your base value will now be 160,000 for those. It does not reset like the big mushroom would at the end of the deadline. That is how you completely break this. So far, we haven't been lucky enough to get that mushroom since we got set up with our charm slots, but I'll showcase it as soon as we do. For now, we're just going to continue rolling, and hopefully we'll actually find that mushroom, because we would like to get it at this point. Going to be back to a stretch of bad luck here for charms. This guy is good in the beginning when you need the extra. Having the 2 extra spins is great. It's like having the gold coin, but it's guaranteed instead. Right now, it's pretty worthless at this point in time, but early on, it's worth a grab if you see it. That's diamonds, that's right. Not having very much luck here, and we're getting really expensive. 284,000 per respin now. This is a good time to showcase what I meant by the best luck charm, though. We now have plus 68 luck. So if this triggers, it's going to be a perfect spin basically every time. I think it's like 13 or 16 luck or something. I can't remember the exact number. But somewhere around there is basically the maximum amount of luck that you need. So basically the reason I say this is the best charm is because you will always hit that limit. There is almost never going to be a time where you do not spin this charm shop enough to have that number for your luck. We're already at 68, and I'm not even done spinning it. I have tons more spinning to do, probably. Again, the battery guy. These two in combination work pretty well. One of these days, we're going to find something we'd like. This is the perfect thing for the 666 build if you're going to use lemons or cherries. Boy, we're just not really having much luck here. I'm going to use these cigarettes a few times because we have so many extra tickets. Oh, crap. I forgot that we had this equipped. Son of a gun. Well, I'm going to throw this away quick. We'll get it back in a second. Well, not in a second. We'll get it back at some point. Really not having much luck here. Well, aha. We needed all three of those. Nice. That's another thing, too. We have this guy that gives us 10% chance to have any symbol modifier. That includes the repetition. That includes the golden symbols and all that stuff. And we just got our doll back that broke last time. That also increases the chance for repetition modifier. We also have the fruit basket, which gives us an extra repetition for either fruit. And we have this guy, which gives us a 15% chance to have either fruit having a repetition. So we're pretty well guaranteed to get repetition modifiers pretty much every time we get cherries or lemons now. Very useful. We don't have many more spins left before we are broke again. And it doesn't look like we're going to get lucky enough to get any of the charms that we need here. So go ahead and I guess we're just going to spin again. We still have 4 rounds left, so maybe we'll do 2 rounds of spinning quick just to get that done. Hopefully we can get lucky again with another set of lemons. Make another big chunk of cash so we can keep spinning. Otherwise we'll probably have to save up and either burn a bunch the last round of this deadline, or we'll just have to wait till next deadline. Not too shabby. And we're getting to the point now that we're making a couple million for just a few symbol matches. The downside is our shop rerolls is costing like 10 million. So it gets very expensive very quickly, as you can see. I said hopefully we'll just get lucky here, and we'll get another stockpile of cash like we did last time. It's wonderful that we keep getting all these jackpots, but it's very unfortunate that only one of them has been lemons. Another, like, couple million, probably. 4.4. God, man. Back-to-back jackpots. Neither of them lemons. That's pretty nice, though. We are also increasing all of our other values. I mean, 7s now are worth over 1,000. Lemons are 1,608 with a 33 times multiplier on top of a 32 times multiplier for just 3 symbols. Oh, man. 3 jackpots. Almost all back-to-back-to-back, and not a single one of them lemons. Very unfortunate, but we're making a fortune now off of these two because of that painting that we have. Keep in mind that painting doubles every time we trigger a symbol with 5 or more. So anytime we see like a full line like this, it triggers that, which doubles all these. So even though we're not getting the lemons, the rest of our values are getting up so high that it just doesn't matter anymore. That's kind of the reason why I also like having the mixed doll, because any of these can also be golden symbols. So even though we're not using them, our, say the bell, for instance, this might slowly climb up, and before you know it, you might randomly check this, and they might even be worth the same amount as lemons. It doesn't really matter as much which symbol you're building for outside of getting the odds increased, which this would be very nice if we could increase this even further. Get this to like 40% or something would be astronomical. We're in fantastic shape right now, though. Here it is. We've been waiting for this. Massive. Tons of tickets, tons of repetition. Increasing the pattern multiplier. Huge. I mean, we're at $500 million per jackpot win right now, and we just won like 6 of them in a row. There we go. 4.8 billion. So, now we have enough to go back to re-rolling the shop for a little while. Come on, lemons. Oh, no way. Yep, we're a superset. This is exactly what we're waiting for. Hopefully this now gives us enough re-rolls to get the rest of what we need. We still need to get all 3, Virago, Varathrum. I don't know why I cannot remember these names. I literally say them separately, like, every single time, but every time I try to think of all 3 together, I just draw a blank. But we need all 3 of those so we can combine them before we get the beach hotel. Then we can maximize our charm slots for this setup. Keep in mind, you can actually get to a total of 23 charm slots, and if you're using the evil phone, you can actually get up to a total of 35 charms out of the 23 slots. For this one, we're only going to get to like 18 or 19 or something like that with this setup, but this is the basic setup that almost anybody can do with the exception of this last step. If you don't have the surgery machine, you can't get the beach hotel and mix these two, but you can do exactly what we've done and already have these 14 slots as is. So this is entirely possible. You can also continue on, as I've already shown, we're at 30 billion. Our debt is only 33,000. You do not need the surgery machine at all to get to this point in time. So, in the comment section, I don't want to see anybody saying, well, you use the surgery machine, so that means that this doesn't make any sense, or you can't use it. Yes, you can. This run is 100% doable, even if you do not have this. Ignore this completely, and don't grab any cards, and you can do exactly what I've done and still be here. The only thing I've used this for, even so far, is for this guy, which you could have just used the 2 dolls that we had before I made this, and it would have made almost no difference. So this is 100% viable for anybody. The only difference that you may have is if you're a brand new player, you might not have these charms unlocked yet. Which, if that's the case, you shouldn't be looking as much into this kind of a video where I'm showcasing how to win every round. You should be learning these symbols and the charms, how they work, and just playing as much as possible. Expect to lose. That's kind of the point in the beginning. You're expected to lose a bunch. The idea is, as you progress, you will be able to unlock more and more charms by meeting these goals. Use this computer, find charms, and work on unlocking them. Once you get a solid basis, as you can see, I'm only 85% done. This goes up to 200%. Now, I've gotten 100% on a different save, or a different version, I guess, on my Steam profile for this game. For this one, this is the one I've been using for all my videos, and I'm only at 85%, and I've done multiple videos showcasing how to break the charm limit, how to get into infinite rounds. So it's not a requirement, but the more charms you have, the better options you're going to have available, the easier this will be for you. So keep that in mind as well. Now, we're going to go back to spinning this thing 50 million times. Hey, Virago. God, we've been waiting for this for a lifetime. Grab you, put Virago away. Let's take this guy back out. Now we've got Barathrum and Virago. So we just need the other guy, and we can make that charm combination. Crowbar, that's nice. Free tickets, that's nice. Sardines, we are going to need them to combine this, but I do not have the space at the moment to do this. So, we can either go through and find a... You know what? We're going to get rid of this. I've been holding on to that for basically no reason for a long time now. I'm not going to grab this yet, but now we have the space available. So if we find the other... what do you want to call it? Band charm. We've got Virago and Barathrum right now. We find the other one, then we can combine those, and then we can look for the sardines, which they're pretty common, so it really shouldn't take us too long to find them again. Here we go. Keep in mind, some of these charms that I'm seeing in here we may end up using at some point, but right now I'm not concerned with them. We only have enough space for me to get this setup finished, so we need to find the other banishment charm ASAP before we do anything else. And we are just going to be unlucky this entire game, which is fine. This works very well for this kind of video. I mean, if I got super duper lucky and got every single charm right away, it wouldn't benefit you very much as a viewer if I just got every charm I needed in the first round, because you're not going to get that lucky. It's just, that just doesn't happen that often. So, the fact that we're struggling a lot here is actually kind of good, so I can showcase it's not based on luck. This is it's a skill build. Once you understand how this works, the only time luck matters is for the very first deadline, basically. You could fail because you cannot get a single charm that you need to be able to afford your debt. And if you're just unlucky on your spins, there's nothing you can do about it. You don't have enough money or tickets to be able to buy charms or anything like that yet. So, that does require luck. If you make it out of the first deadline, and you know what you're doing, you're pretty much guaranteed to win every single time. I didn't even have to restart this. When I started this video today, this is the first run I started. I picked it right up immediately, and here we are. We're already in the billions with a 33,000 debt on deadline 6, and we're in perfect shape. We still haven't even gotten all the charms I want either. We're struggling with that, but we're still gonna win no matter what. Really hoping we get lemons. Nice. Yes. Huge. Now keep in mind this is going to be a smaller jackpot than last time because that painting only works for that round. So every time we end our last spin, it resets. But, nonetheless, that was still $500 million we just won right there. So it adds up regardless. And now, again, I keep grabbing these because we have so much cash it doesn't matter. Don't do that. Leave the money there just in case. You never know when you're going to need it. We don't even have enough to respin this. What I'm going to do is spin again, end this deadline, so we can reset the cost of this, and then since we have billions, we'll be able to spin a ton next time. So we'll just leave it as is for now. $5 billion for one single charm shop spin is just too much at the moment. Hey, hey. Aw, bummer. Nice thing is it'll double our value again. Come on. One more big win. That's all I care about. Here you go. Ah. Not lemons, but whatever. It's good enough. I'm complaining because we're not getting the biggest wins when we're still winning like millions from even symbols that we don't use. And our debt, again, is only 33,000, so we're not in bad shape. I'm just anxious to get a huge win again so we can continue spinning the shop like crazy. We're very close to the end of this video, basically. Like I said, I just want to get the rest of this set up, get us into exponential values, and then be able to walk you through every charm. Right before the end of the video, I will walk through and I will talk about every single charm that I'm using, why I chose it, and then we can go through our symbol value, multipliers, patterns, and all that stuff before we wrap it up, so you get a good understanding of every aspect of this build, why this works almost every time, basically. So, let's go ahead and deposit this. Things are going too well. From now on, if you score 666, you'll lose all the points that you have. Now, this is where leaving that your interest payments becomes extremely important. So, right now, we'll go ahead and skip this deal again. Not important. Let's deposit everything up to the 66 mark right beforehand. So right now, we are only 3 shy. No matter what, the next interest payment already gives us enough money to pay this off. So even if I hit a 666 the very last spin and we have 0 coins, we will still be able to pass this deadline. That's why this is important. Leave this here. Don't do what I did last time and just grab it for no reason. Again, we're just going to skip this because they're just not very useful for this build. Normally the red phone calls are only great for 666, otherwise they're going to be a hindrance. They have one benefit, but one downside. So they kind of just come out neutral. It's just not really worthwhile unless you're building for that. Now these only cost us 2,000, so we can spin like crazy again here now. We want this guy, 100%. Buying him right now. Come on. You can do it. We'll buy that. We've been very lucky with that, by the way. I said specifically when I saw it the first time that you're only going to see it, like, very rarely. I've proven my own self wrong in this game. Don't let that fool you. The fact that we've gotten that, like, 3 or 4 times already is absurd. You will not see that often unless you're sitting here just spamming rerolls for a long time. Granted, yeah, we've rerolled this a lot, but even so, having seen it as much as we have is rare. It's very weird to do that. Free tickets. Man, just give me the other banishment charm, please. It's the only thing holding us back right now. If we can get that, I can combine them. We can get the sardines, make the beach hotel, claim our property certificate, get our boost to our charm slots, and then we're done. All we have to do is just assemble the charms that I want, and we are set and ready to hit exponential values in, like, a deadline, basically, by that point. Again, this guy, I mentioned earlier, he's super useful. At this point now, with how many tickets we have, you get 25 free tickets every time you end a deadline, just because of that. If this was deadline 3, it'd be substantially more than that. And if you're building a ticket build, you'd have, like, tens of thousands of tickets by now. So you'd be making a fortune. It just gets crazy if you do that, too. There's so many ways to break this game. I find this build here is just the easiest basic build, so you can get yourself in the position to choose any other build that you want. This is by no means going to... you could technically run this forever. If you're using the phone call to double your symbol value, you'll always be able to keep up with the pacing for debts until you get to crazy deadlines, where you're talking like E100 kind of a thing. And even then, I have a game... Actually, one of the games on one of the videos I have uploaded right now, I'm already at E plus 100 or more, and I use this exact same build. So you can push this for almost forever, basically. At some point in time, it will end up outpacing you, but it's going to take a long time. The only way to really never run into that issue is to do deadline locks, where you get the extra rounds instead. Just do infinite rounds in deadline 1, and then of course it will never matter, because the debt will never increase. Or interest builds, they can go for literally ever, because if you get your interest high enough, and you have a chance to see it on your symbols, if you get lucky like we are with this guy, one jackpot you might get 6 interests. If it's 30%, you just made 180% interest on whatever your debt was. That's going to pay itself off every single time. Perhaps in the future I will do a video on an interest build and like a 666 build and that kind of a thing. I just find this to be the easiest for newer players to be able to get to as far as they want, to be able to beat the game, be able to get into the exponential values, see how far they can push it, and it'll help you get a good understanding of different builds. Once you get all this money and things racked up, you can pretty much just do whatever you wanted. I mean, if we get to exponential values right now, I could sell every charm on this table and I'd still be able to afford the debt for like the next 7 deadlines. So you can just experiment at that point in time. There's no downside. This is the easiest way to do so, in my opinion. Boy, we're just never going to see this. Nice. I can't believe we've seen that so many times. I need to go buy a lottery ticket. That is absurd. There's been games where I've literally sat here and respun this shop 100 times and not seen that a single time. Come on, bro. We're back into the millions already for respins, and I still haven't even seen it once. Maybe. Just maybe. Ah, we need that. I'll go over that charm in just a second. No way. This is unreal. Seriously, need to buy a lottery ticket. That is just crazy. 697 million. We respun that shop probably 35 times. Didn't see it once, but we've managed to extend our rounds by 3 times over. That is absurd. Well, back to making some money. No, not 666. That's terrible. nice thing about this repetition modifier, too... Oh, I forgot to go over that mushroom charm. I'll do that in a second here. Alright, so, this guy. Whenever 15 patterns trigger, during a spin, double the value until the end of the deadline. This is the one that I was talking about earlier. The others are the end of the round. So once we run out of these spins, I spin these last 6, that's it. The doubles over here will reset, with the exception of this. Every time this triggers, it carries until the end of the deadline. This also worked out very conveniently, considering the fact that we've already extended our deadline so many times. Since we have 6 rounds, including this one, that means we have 3 more rounds to get even more of these 15 pattern triggers to double. The only thing we're missing is this was a red phone call. So unfortunately we can't get the double symbol value for me to showcase exactly how crazy that goes just yet. But that's the idea behind it. At some point we will likely get there and I'll be able to show you what I mean. Do-do-do-do. Come on. Oh, that was pretty nice. Definitely not a jackpot, but hey, any sets of lemons that we can get like that's huge. 78 million, we got the big mushroom to trigger again. We're already at 7,000 value now, base value, for the lemons, times 42 on top of these guys over here. That's insane. One jackpot right now would be astronomical. And the nice thing is, even though... Bummer, we lost another doll. Even though the painting, for instance, this guy, resets at the end of the round, it doesn't matter as much now that we have the big mushroom, because that one does not reset. So we drop from 7,000, but we're literally still at 5,000, basically, for our lemon value. So it adds up astronomically. And every single time we trigger it, it doubles it again and again and again, all the way through the end of the deadline. That's why that charm is a must-have. If you want to get to real exponential values, you need that charm for this build. Lemons. Oh, man. What a bummer. 103 million. 118 total. Not bad. Would have been way better with actual lemons, but what can you do? It is what it is. There we go. 171 million for one single line of lemons in the middle. We've been also extremely unlucky so far. One more spin. Ah, hey, we got our doll back. That's nice. We're literally just never going to get this banishment charm. It is getting crazy at this point. So many respins for this. Come on, lemons. I hate you, 666. You ruined this, but this is still really good. Yeah, this is going to be huge. All these repetitions, too, basically guarantee we trigger our big mushroom charm every time. 309 million. We're at almost 20,000 for lemon value now. Huge. Now we're making billions again. $1.5 billion. Been pretty unlucky this round so far. We make so much that it doesn't matter, but we really haven't had too many like real solid spins considering our luck value. There we go. Come on. There it is. Prime. Oh yeah, this is huge. We're going to get like 50 billion out of this. Probably more, honestly, because the jackpot's going to be worth like 50 billion. 30 per 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have like 7 triggers of this too. Yeah, okay. So basically 400 billion from that. Keep in mind we still have 3 more rounds left before the end of this deadline, and this no longer resets completely. So these are almost at 1 million per lemon with a 51 times multiplier, and then multiplying it by like a minimum of times 4 for those, or times 10 for a simple 3. Back to spinning again. More tickets. God, we are just not having a good run here for this shop. These guys are kind of good. I think I mentioned this earlier. Earlier on, I'm pretty sure we saw this charm and I happened to mention it then. But right now you'll see, like, every single time we spin, basically, you're seeing all those charms pop off on the end. This thing adds 1 to your symbol multiplier down here, this value, every time one of those triggers. So if you're at this point where I am now, and you're struggling for a symbol multiplier, just buy this. Every single time you spin, you trigger 5 charms. It goes up times 5, basically, every single time. It only resets if you don't trigger any, which, right now, we're kind of, like, I'd say we win probably 60-70% of the time on spins. We can increase this even higher, and if you're using other luck charms or anything else to fill in the gaps, basically, when this doesn't actually trigger, you'll be winning significantly more. If you win like 90% of your spins, for instance, this is huge. But for now, we don't need it. We're already at 52, and that's going up as we go up anyways, so it's not a big deal. No way. We have gotten that like 5 times this round alone, and still have not seen the other banishment charm. That is like unbelievable. I don't even believe it now, and I literally watched it happen. There it is. Holy crap. We have been waiting a lifetime for this, it feels like. Alright, what do we want? I'm going to have to get rid of a charm, unfortunately, in order to make space for that. You know what? For now, we don't need this until we get ready to do that. We're going to get rid of the megaphone, because we'll get it back. But we don't need it at the moment anyways, so it's just taking up space. So let's grab that guy. Let's put him in the drawer. Abyssu. Now let's take... oh yeah, it's in this one, duh. Our mushroom back out. And now, we can go ahead and combine these 3 for the black hole. When you discard this charm, spawn all charms used in the last surgery. Right now, if we already had this made, it would be the Greedy King, Naughty Dealer, and Raging Capitalist, because we use those to make... Where did he go? This guy, the Mad Emperor. The reason we want this made right now is so that way the second we make the Beach Hotel, we can immediately get rid of this, giving us back our property certificate. So now we have the black hole. It's going to get put into our drawer because we did not space to equip it. Now we need the sardines. We also now have extra charm space down here to store things in. No way! This has got to be the most times I've ever seen that in a single deadline, and I have rolled hundreds and hundreds of times in a deadline before. Come on, sardines. We do also want to get, do we want... I don't know if we need this for anything anymore. I don't think we do. Oh, there's our sardines. No way. Alright, so let's put this guy... You know what? Let's just put this guy in the drawer for now. Grab him. We'll grab the sardines. Now we need to put the property certificate and the sardines in the drawer. Both of them. Where did... Oh, they're hiding. It's like, where did the sardines go? I just bought them. Put that in there. Oh, not you. Put you in there. There. Now, we can now make the Beach Hotel. Takes the sardines, the property certificate. Property certificate gives you +2 charm slots. This gives you +3. Again, this is one of the exceptions to being able to do everything regardless of where you are in the game. If you don't have the DLC, obviously you cannot do this. Just stick with the property certificate. You're just going to have a few less charm slots, but it will not stop you from this run. Again, we've made it this far without the Beach Hotel. We only had the 14 charm slots, and we're already in the billions. Exponential values are literally next. If I continue just spinning as it is right now, and we get 2 more jackpots, we're going to be in exponential values already, even without this. So I don't want to see any complaints in the comments that I use the surgery machine and you don't have it, so you can't use this guide. You can use this guide. We've done the whole run without it already, basically. So, let's go back. Let's make this guy. If you do have the DLC, 100% do this, because having the extra charm slots, there is no downside to it. You might not even need them all. Like I said, we've made it this far with only 14 charm slots, and we didn't really need anything else. We would have hit exponential values this round probably, or this deadline, even without it. But if you do have it, why would you not want the extra space? Know what I mean? So there's all that. Let's put this in the drawer just for now so we can re-equip all of our stuff. Beach Hotel's there. We're going to take that guy. Then we're going to take this and throw it. Property certificate, sardines. Throw it away. Now, property certificate. This is the only way for you to have both of these, by the way. If you do not do this, when you make this beach hotel, this property certificate is gone. For good. It does not come back. You won't see it in the shop anymore. You can't get it again until the next game. But, using the black hole, we now have both, and now we have 17 charm slots. Huge, right? Very useful. Now we can equip everything that we put back in the drawers. We can get rid of the sardines, because I don't use those for anything anyways. And now, basically, we want to get Baratheon back for the phone call and the megaphone. We want to keep those two in there. And otherwise, we can just start picking charms that we want to use for this build. We almost have everything that I'm going to be focused on as is. We have the only luck charm that I... Excuse me. Jeez. There we go. The only charm slot, or the lucky charm, that you will need, 198 luck right now. It's impossible. You will literally never be able to get this luck with anything else besides this charm. Get this one, every time. Depending on your symbol, this will change. We picked this one because we went lemons. You could have picked the one that gives you cherries instead. It would have worked the same way. We also don't really need anything... Excuse me. Sorry, I gotta take a drink here. My throat is extremely dry today. Much better. Anyways, you could do the cherry one. We don't even really need more tickets at this point. We have 232. But it doesn't do any bad to have it. It gives us the option to pick a few different things. If we get the charm that gives us a symbol multiplier increase based on our ticket count, might as well grab it, because why not? We have 2 extra charm slots. We literally have... I would say this is perfect. You don't need any more charms than these. This is already beyond what you need to get set up. This will get you to exponential value. This will get you far enough to win the game every time. But we can try to optimize this a little bit further. Since we have the extra money, we might as well. Could do an extra 2 spins every round if we wanted, for an extra chance to get even more triggers for our big mushroom, which increases our symbol value. You know what? We might actually just buy this right now, just because. If we don't want it, we can get rid of it later. Nothing else really that we need there. There's our Baratheon for the phone. Grab him, put him back in the drawer. Now we're just missing the megaphone. That guy. Don't really need Virago. Now we're going to see him every single time because I don't need him anymore. Oh, now we're poor. We spent... Oh, yeah. 79 billion now to respin that. This was the red call? Yeah. Okay. So we'll just ignore that. We're just going to go ahead and pretty much finish this round up. At the end, maybe we'll go back through and respin a few more times just to see if we can find something else we need. But the point of this video has already been established. If you've made it this far, you know exactly what you're doing. You don't even need to finish this video if you don't want to. But I'm going to showcase the exponential value. If I get any other charms, I'm going to go through all of those, like I said at the end. I'll walk through every single charm, why we grabbed it, and its benefit. Just so you have a thorough understanding. That way there's no confusion. Nobody has to feel like this video is not usable to them because they don't have access to all the fancy stuff. Again, the only time this won't apply to you is if you're a brand new player and you don't have any of the charms unlocked, basically. Otherwise, if you have even 50% of the charms open by this point in time, you can 100% do this method. No DLC required, no cards required, nothing special, just normal. We're already in exponential values. These are worth nearly 11 million now, our lemons, times 56. And then times again, whatever, for the pattern multiplier. Bells. Our bells are something we don't even have any items for. They're worth billions themselves. We're going to get into the exponential values from bells right here because of that big mushroom. 2E12, not even E11, E12. And all of our symbols are now worth millions, with lemons being worth almost 50 million by this point in time. Cherries, huge. And as you can see, the game's over. I already won. I can skip every single deadline now until I get to a point where I can't afford it, then I can just grab the key, because I already have passed the deadline required. If you're doing the phone runs, we've skipped 2 of the 3 red phone calls. This is the 3rd here. We got a 666 almost right away in this deadline. That's one point I should actually touch on a little bit, because it's a little confusing. So, for the Holy Phone, you need to skip 3 red phone calls. The way that works is 666s will trigger them. So we've got our last red phone call right now, which we're already currently skipping. We got a 666 in, say, round 2 of this deadline. If we would have stopped spinning right then and there and ended the deadline, we would have skipped this phone call, given us all 3 of those crossed out, and it would have forced another phone call. The way that works is you need a 666 in the last round before the next deadline to trigger the phone call again. Once you cross all 3 of these out, you need to trigger the phone 1 additional time. That's when the phone transforms into the Holy Phone. So, this round would have been a perfect example had we been doing a Holy Phone run. Since we're not, obviously it didn't apply. But if I had all the corpse pieces up here right away, I picked up all 4 limbs. We've seen the skull in the shop multiple times already. I could have bought that. We've skipped 2 of the 3 red phone calls. This is the 3rd one right here, and we got a 666 earlier. If we got that 666, I just stopped spinning at the end of that round and then ended the deadline. We would have guaranteed the next phone call, or next deadline's phone call, would have been the Holy Phone. When we picked it up, it would have transformed into Holy, and then you'd have the option to get the Holy Charms as well, which you can push this limit even further. They don't require charm slots. You grab the phone, it gives you the option to get a charm, and it just automatically puts a charm here, even if you're at the maximum limit. That's how people get to 35 out of 23 using the evil charms from the evil phone. For this run, again, we're not doing the Holy Phone. That's more complex, and I tried to make this as basic as possible, so literally every person can do this method. Not everyone's going to have the understanding to get to that point and get a Holy Phone going, so it's irrelevant for this. Maybe in another video I'll go over that later, but for now, just a quick explanation as to how that worked. Let's finish up strong here. Come on. One more good one. Nope. Alright. It is what it is. It doesn't really matter. Again, we're already at E13 right now, and our debt is only 66,000. I could skip like 10 deadlines by this point for card packs if I wanted. We're just going to keep on spinning, like I said, though. We're going to push towards the end so we can re-roll the shop and see if I can't squeeze out. We're only missing 1 charm right now to max it out, so if I can find 1 more useful charm, I'll grab that. We can discuss all the charms that I have, why we grabbed them, what they're used for, and then we can wrap the video up. And you should feel confident. If you follow this method, you should be able to win pretty much every single game. Like I said, the only time luck really matters for this is the first deadline. Beyond that, you should not have an issue. That's a little tight. Let's say the first 2 deadlines. Those are luck dependent. If you get terrible luck in the first one, but you get lucky enough on spins to just be able to afford making it, you still might not be able to clear the second deadline if you also have terrible luck. But by the end of the second deadline, you should already have a couple of charms set. Right here, good example. We just got 666. If I was to, finish these last 5 spins here and then end the deadline, we'd get the Holy Phone next time. I'm not going to do that, again, obviously, because we're not doing that build, but that's how that works. We're going to be so far into the exponential values by the end of this. We're already in E14. Lemons are now worth just under 2 billion per lemon, times 75, and then times up to 10,580 more. It's just crazy. It would be awesome if we could get like 2 more rounds and then get a lemon jackpot so I can showcase just how absurd this goes. Because remember, at the beginning of this, we were making like billions. Like $500 million, I think, was like how much we made in the first spin. into the billions shortly afterwards, and now we're making E14, and we're still actual, like, rounds away from the end of this deadline. Uh-oh. We lost a couple things. I think that was our fruit basket. And our doll. Yep. Okay. 3 rounds left still. And we have infinite money. I don't really need that for anything anymore either. Sure. Sure. You know what? I'm just going to grab this as our other one until we find a different charm that I feel would be better. That's just going to be a good example of what I was explaining earlier, how this increases our symbol's value since we trigger our charm so often. Some of these that I've skipped you could use if you wanted to. It's just not what I'm looking for. Again, at this point in time, you're fully set up to do whatever you wanted. You could sell every single charm over here and do something completely different if you wanted to at this point. You've already beaten the game, so it doesn't matter. But for the sake of optimizing this run, I could do this too since we get cherries quite a bit, but we don't really need the tickets that badly. Battery guy, I could transition into that. This is decent. If you wanted to do a battery run, this is actually super useful because you can just use it every single turn. You'll be able to charge your battery every single time. So you can infinitely spam this and add in even an extra trigger on top of that. We already have like 4 things here that re-trigger charms. This just does it again. The jar of piss, or number 1, sorry. I was kind of hoping we'd get a couple of either our fruit basket back. This is another decent one. Whenever 3 patterns trigger, if you get this early on, pretty good. This and 1 luck charm in like the first deadline pretty much will set you up. We obviously don't need the symbol multiplier right now. We just might not get lucky enough to replace our charms that went away this time. At least not so far, but we don't, like I said, we don't really need anything right now. We're super well set, but we're going to keep trying. Fruit basket, we got that back. Now we're just missing our doll. Could grab that guy just to show it off, but we don't need it. Oh, we're broke again. Broke, I say, when we have exponential value. I don't know why I keep forgetting that that's the red phone, but we don't need to answer that.
Let's go.
Continue spinning. If I get the doll back, that's where we'll wrap it up, because that'll give us the 17 charms equipped, basically, and I can walk through everything that we have. Times 80 right now. It gets ridiculous, as you can see. Times 95 now. So this guy, where did it go? There it is. We're already at +5 because of that single spin, basically, right there. It triggered so many charms that we got this from +1 to +5 immediately. That's why I say it's pretty useful. We didn't really need it for this time, but it's not going to do any damage. It's actually just going to be slightly beneficial. Over time, if we're lucky enough, this might get up to like 150 or something, and then it'll be huge, you know. There are better charms to use, but since we haven't found them yet, and we don't need it, it's not really relevant. It's more or less what you want to use. Come on. There it went. It reset on us because we didn't trigger anything, but again, it doesn't matter. We're just having really bad luck at the moment. We still got 2 rounds left. Almost 4 billion for lemon value at times 90, and then times a bunch over here too. These guys reset at the end of the round. I think that's from, which one of these does that? Is it the painting? Yep, this is the pattern multiplier. I like this one because you don't really get a lot for patterns. The pattern multiplier itself, down below, is... You almost never see this increase. There's only a couple of things that can increase that. This guy here, though, will increase all of your regular patterns over time during that round itself. It resets at the end of the round, but one pattern with 5 or more symbols, so basically every time you get a lucky spin at all, this will trigger, increases all of these until the end of the round. These aren't necessary to get exponential value. We could just rely on this. I mean, we're already basically at exponential value. If I get one line of 5 lemons, even if this was just base value, times 90, we're already into exponentials, basically. This is like 300 billion from just that alone. This is only going to help a little bit. But it does make a difference, and since you have the extra charm slots, if you followed this, the 17, there's no reason to not. It just adds extra money. We need one good lemon trigger here. Come on. Oh, man. 7s is good, though. They're worth a fortune right now, too, as you can see. There's our E14 back again. We are just about at 10 billion for lemon limit and 96 multiplier. Times 13, or plus E plus 13, just from 3 singular lemons there. Come on. Not very lucky at all. I just want to get one good lemon jackpot at this point, considering how high our value is getting. Ah, I did it again. Leave that alone. I keep grabbing it. Well, there's a few lemons. That was nice, but... Come on, one single lemon jackpot. That's all I'm asking for. That 1-6 had to ruin it for us, but this is huge nonetheless. E15 now. Come on. Talk about rough luck. There we go. Had to be clovers. Again, with our setup, it doesn't really matter. I've said it a couple of times now. We have lemons, so obviously that is our highest value and the best chance to show up. Not that you can tell, but all of the symbol values, because of that big mushroom and stuff, increase on their own. So it really doesn't matter. If we don't get lemons, it doesn't make any difference. We got E plus E15, even with any of the other values, or any of the other symbols, basically, because of that. Now, these are going to reset because of this big mushroom, but that's okay. I wanted to showcase how this would work with the phone, so maybe we'll get lucky next round, or next deadline, and we'll actually be able to get the right phone call for it. We needed our 2 little dolls. Those 2 are gone. Everything else is fine. I don't know that we're going to find them here. We might actually just reset. There's one of them. That's nice. Yeah, now's a good time. We're going to pay this off. Just so we can start the next deadline and reset our shop cost. There we go. Yeah, we'll hear you out, but no, I'm not going to do the deal. I'm just going to deposit all of this. There we go. Now, Cherries manifest more. Here we go. Doubles the value. This is exactly what I was talking about. We're going to keep this. We have Barathrum in here. We now just need the megaphone, and we can trigger that at the end of the deadline when this is at its highest number. And I'll show that before we wrap the video up. So let's respin this. See if we can't find the megaphone and our other little doll. There it is. There's the doll. Now we just need the megaphone. I'm pretty much just going to scam this now, or spam it. There's other charms and things, like I said before. This setup here is perfect. There is zero reason for this to not work for you. And granted, yes, I know I'm going to see a lot of people in the comments. Well, of course it is. You've got, like, the personal trainer and you've got the Mad Emperor. Those are OP charms. You can get them. You've seen me spin this shop 150,000 times already this game. Do that, you will find them eventually. The only exception, as I stated earlier, if you do not have the charms unlocked, then obviously you cannot find them. At that point, if you don't have the charms opened yet, I recommend not focusing on trying to win, but focus on playing the game and unlocking the charms. That's the most important thing. Once you get them unlocked, then come back to this video and try this, because you will have them unlocked. This guy, I already mentioned it when I did it back then, and I'll mention it again right now. This is not required. In fact, this is actually a lower percent chance than if you just had the separate dolls that you wanted and used those instead. You could have a 25% chance for any symbol to have the exact modifier that you're looking for. Not only is this a lower percent chance, at only 20, and that's because I actually have 2 surgery machines, it starts at 10, but this is also for any symbol, so we have a 20% chance of it being a symbol, the golden modifier, or a repetition modifier, or a ticket modifier. If you're focused on ticket gain, you would want just the one doll that gives you a 25% chance for only tickets. It's a better option. This is actually worse than having the exact one doll that you're looking for. So I don't want to hear any complaints about that either in the comments. This guy is not required. It's just useful for having the extra charm slots, which is great. This saves you room, because if I wanted to have both dolls, it would take 2 slots. This only takes 1, but it's actually worse than if I had the 2 dolls separately. So keep that in mind as well. If you don't want to have the lower chance of getting all symbols with any modifier, just stick with your 2 regular dolls and you'll be in even better shape than we are. Now, that said, we're still set up. I'm going to come back to spamming this thing until we get the megaphone, or we run out of cash, whichever happens first, because one of them will. I'm going to also be ignoring almost everything in here. I don't even know why I'm grabbing those, because we don't really need the free tickets either at this point in time, but it's like habit. My God. That guy, you should not skip. The crowbar, even if you're skipping the tickets because you already have enough, the crowbar just makes it so you can spin the shop 3 times without having to spend any money. You've seen how expensive this gets. It is always worth it to grab. I did not just buy anything, right? No? Okay, good. I thought I accidentally bought a charm, and then I respun it right after. Come on. Give me the megaphone. Or the cassette tape. Because right now we could use the extra rounds. If we find that guy again, that would be super useful at this moment. I'll explain that in a second, too, if we actually find the megaphone here. Don't get confused, by the way. There's 2 similar-looking charms to the round one. That one that you saw me skip just a few seconds ago is not the charm we're looking for extending the deadline by an extra round. They look similar, but they're not. This guy. The music tape is the one we're looking for. The fact that we found that before we found the megaphone is not boding well for us. Man. Should have assumed that this was going to happen with how terrible our luck has been in this shop so far this game. Come on, man. I just want to show everybody how this works. I did it once in the other video, so I guess if we don't get lucky enough to see it this time, you can always reference that. And I'll explain it nonetheless. Son of a gun. Well, here's to hoping we get some good build-up here this time. A couple of good wins early would be huge. That's nice. Starting out strong, increasing our symbol value, or, yeah, our symbol's value. Not too shabby, especially for the very first spin. I know, 49 million looks like absolutely nothing because our symbol values have all reset. This guy only goes until the end of the deadline. We started a new deadline. That's why I also added the extra round. It gives us more time to trigger this more often. It's just going to get our symbol value back up to where we were. We desperately need to get... Well, we don't need... We're fine as it is. Like I said, you've already beaten the game. If you've made it this far, you won. The game is over. But to get even further than this, we would very much like to get that megaphone so I can show you exactly how to make your symbol value just skyrocket. And if you do it every single round that you have a normal phone call, you're going to be so far ahead of your debt, it's unreal. This was huge. We've now triggered the big mushroom twice. And we're back at 15,000 symbol value with 78 multiplier. So it goes very quickly. That was only 2 triggers. If you get very lucky and you're getting jackpots constantly, this is going to be a crazy number. We're getting there very slowly. There we go, triggering it again. We're actually into exponentials again, back at E12, which is useful. We're almost at E13 even. Come on. That's wonderful. Let's just keep going. We're going to go right back into spinning. I'm not even going to bother because we don't have enough to respin the shop yet. There we go. Triggering the big mushroom yet again. So now we'll be back into E13s for value. Just about plus 2 E12. Yep, plus 1.75 E13. 36,000 for that value. We've also had pretty poor luck outside of getting the handful of those. We're getting a lot of nothing spins, which is crazy at this point in time. I can't believe how unlucky we've been. But again, it just goes to show that the luck does not matter. This is a very sound strategy. If you get this down, you can win every time, even if you have the worst luck ever. I can't explain how many times we have spun the shop, spun this without any wins so far, and we're still completely destroying it. 2 rounds left still. Did we lose our doll again already? No, we got it. Okay. I was like, holy man, that was way too fast. You know, we're just going to spin it again. We haven't been lucky enough to get anything up, or our symbol value up high enough yet, because we haven't gotten any lemons. We haven't gotten but a few jackpots, and it's always some obscure symbol that we're not using. Now we're going to get screwed up by the 666s. There we go. Boosting the symbol value again, yet again, another symbol we don't care about, but it doesn't matter. Getting lemons is obviously the absolute best option, because it's the only one that actually pays us enough for us to do something with it, but getting any of them works for doubling the symbol value. Our lemons are back up at 108,000 now, so, you know, can't complain too much even though it sucks. Cherries? I mean, that's better than the diamonds were, I guess, but even again, the fact that we have lemons set at like a 40% chance or a 30 or whatever it is. Yeah, 28%. More than double, basically, every other symbol, and we never get them, just goes to show you that I had posted once on Reddit about how there is some other unknowns that control the luck values in here, and a lot of people were giving me crap about the fact that I don't understand how odds work. It has nothing to do with that. I can literally have 99% chance for lemons, and I can go 30 spins without getting sets of lemons. Why? Because there is some other factor that controls the luck in this game. There is something that goes on with the 666s, because even if you have a 100% chance for lemons, you can still get a 666 roll. It can happen. So that means this is not 100%. There is some other controlling thing going on. I don't know why I had to explain this, but for those that saw that and were curious, there is some other manipulative thing going on behind the scenes that I don't fully understand. This is still relevant. You want to get this up as high as you can, but know that even at the highest amount possible, you're not going to get it every single time. It just won't happen. Come on. We're not going to get any lemons. We're going to go through like 5 rounds without a single lemon set. At 28% chance for them to be the ones that show. This also applies. Excuse me. This also applies to each individual symbol. So every symbol on here has a 28% chance of being a lemon. So you'll still see them randomly scattered around in here, but we might do a full spin and see 1 lemon. This is more than 1/4. There is like 15 different symbols that show up on here. We should, in theory, then be getting like 4 lemons at a time to be showing up, and there's times where there's no lemons or 1 lemon. I get that RNG and all that other stuff, but again, there is some other factor in the background that I'm not fully aware of. We're not even going to be able to get the megaphone, which I guess it is what it is. We're just going to have to... I'm going to show you the phone call without the megaphone, because no matter what, this run is just cursed. We've done our goal. We've achieved that. We beat the game. That's what matters, but we've had extremely unfortunate luck when it comes to re-rolling the shop, when it comes to our own symbol showing up here. That was the most lemons we've gotten this entire time so far. That was huge. Almost 4 3/4 million right now. Boy, this was a really rough deadline. Just absolutely terrible. Well, alright. Again, we didn't get the megaphone, so I can't actually show you how this fully works, so that kind of sucks because that just ruins everything, but we'll put this in here for now. We'll grab this and I'll show you how to do this without it. Keep in mind that it's going to trigger 1 last time without the megaphone, so that is unfortunate, but the idea still kind of works the same. We have Barathrum, we've got our symbols, values way up. This is what our base value is now. Remember, at the start of this, we were at like 8,000 or whatever for lemons. That'll never be the case again. We're at 1.163840 right now. So, almost 1.2 million. We grab this phone call. We double the value of lemons and cherries. Boom. Now, even without the megaphone, it triggered once already. Now we're at 2.3 million. Now, we get rid of Barathrum, throw it away, it triggers the phone call again. Now, we're at 4.6 million. And, as I stated before, every single charm resets at the end of a round, or, with the big mushroom, the end of this deadline. So, in theory, when we restart the next deadline, this should have reset and we should have lost all of our symbol value. Right? That makes sense. This is the only reason our symbol value is worth 4.6 million. That and the phone calls. But this is what brought us up to that point. This ends at the end of the deadline. So when I end this deadline, so does this. It goes back to 0. This would reset. However, that is not the case. When we triggered this next deadline... Yep, I know. I always have enough to pay it off. It doesn't matter. It did not reset. Why? Because we doubled the value of the symbols with the phone. It leaves that as the base value. So now, at the very start of this deadline, instead of these being worth 8,000 for a lemon, they are permanently worth 3.5 million, at a minimum. That's where it's going to start. Now, as we progress through this deadline, every time this triggers, it's going to double this number instead of the 8,000 to get to this number. That's how you get yourself pacing well beyond what your debts are going to be, for a very long time, too. This will last quite a while. Let's see if we can't get lucky again. We can get lemons manifest more often. That's nice. We'll just leave it there for now. Since we don't really need anything else, I can showcase how that works. And we have this reset, so I can actually afford to re-roll the shop. Oh, fancy that. There's the megaphone. Now, and there's Barathrum. Okay, we're going to show this off now. Since we're already here, let's take Mushroom Guy, put him away for just a second. Let's grab the megaphone. We got a 28% chance at the moment. Let's go ahead and just grab this. Lemons, that brought us up to a 40.7% chance. Now, let's get rid of this. Now we're at a 49.5%. We just went from 28 to 49.5% chance in a single phone call. And that's without First Love, the phone call or the card. If you had that, it would have gone up even further. Now, we have a basically 50% chance for every single symbol that shows up on here to be a lemon. And our lemons are worth a fortune compared to every other symbol. So, we're extremely well set now. I'm going to finish this deadline, and that's where we will end this video. So, we're going to equip all this stuff. We'll roll the rest of this, and at the end of the deadline, I will walk through each of these different charms, explaining why we have them and what they did. And we'll take a look at our symbols, our values for everything, how much money we have compared to the deadline. And that should set you up. You should be able to follow this video and be able to recreate this 99% of the time. Like I said, with the exception of the first and second round being mostly luck, nothing else requires luck. The rest of this is all about knowing which charms to grab when you see them. Huge. These guys are already basically paying us exponentials. Just about. 400 billion for lemons on, like, the very first set. We can get lucky enough to, yep, there goes all of our cash. This is a good example, too. Now we're broke. So if this was the end of the deadline, we'd be screwed because I did not pay off the debt beforehand, and there's definitely not going to be enough interest down here. Obviously, it doesn't matter now, but that's why I've been saying to make sure you pay your debt almost fully off right away and you leave your interest in there, just in case this happens on your last spin. Wow. We just got... Oh, I suppose I didn't re-roll the shop very much. I should have done that a few more times, because our luck is low. Plus 10 only, yeah. I only re-rolled the shop 5 times. I should have done another, like, 5 or so just right out the gate for that, but I wasn't thinking about it. And now we're back into exponentials, easy peasy. 223 million for the lemons now. That was huge. That was a good one. We might never see another lemon jackpot this run, unfortunately, but oh man, there goes both of our dolls. That sucks. But we needed to reroll this anyways, so I guess there's that. Now let's see if we can't find... There's one of them. No way. That was very convenient. I did not expect to get lucky with that. Alright. Go back to finishing these. Nice. Even with just those, we managed to pull off 15 symbol matches for the big mushroom. So that was huge. Got that going. Alright, there's that. Nice. Wasn't lemons, but cherries are our second best symbol. And it was an actual jackpot, which is huge. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. E13. And it's going to trigger all of our symbol multipliers again. So now we're even further. Almost 5 billion per lemon at times 106 and times like 62 or 8 I guess for the minimal, but those are less common. Almost there. Oh, huge. We're never going to see the lemon jackpot, like I said. For whatever reason, we're just not going to be that lucky. But it won't matter. You can clearly see that this is working even without that. At this point in time, a single set of 3 lemons is enough to give us like E14. Right here. E14s, yep. Actually, that gave us E15 since we got to re-trigger it a few times. Oh! Oh, we did it! No way! I didn't think we were going to get to see one by the end of the game, but here you go. This is where the massive numbers come into play. 75 triggers in a single spin. E16 now. Yeah, we're going to end up at E17 basically just from this. Yep, right there. E17 already. These are now worth 73 billion per lemon at 125 times multiplier on top of that. And 248 to almost 20,000. It's absurd at this point in time. It's crazy. And now imagine if we had the phone call that we had last time to double the symbols value. If we did that at the end of this deadline, when the lemons are already up this high, it would be into the exponentials as a base limit for the lemon price. We're basically at that point now. This is the infinite run setup. You are now infinite. You can go on forever. The only thing left is for me to go through these charms real quick and explain them for you. So, Divine Soup. Whenever 5 patterns trigger during a spin, it doubles the value of all symbols until the end of the round. This is one of those ones that I mentioned earlier, unlike the giant mushroom that goes until the end of the deadline. This will reset at the end of every single round. So that does suck, but when you're doing 9 spins, or if you're using the golden coin or the battery build to continually add more spins, it doesn't matter. You can have 7 spins, this is super useful, or you can have 100 spins if you keep infinitely stacking them, and it just becomes more useful the more spins you have. Very good to have this. Mushrooms. This one does the same thing as the big mushroom basically, except for it does it only for its value or its symbols and only for the round. This one is one of the charms that we could get rid of at any point in time now and switch to something else because this big mushroom does it better. Just in general. This only increases them by their actual base value, which right now means nothing to us anymore. Now that our symbol value is way up there, adding +2 to our lemons is going to mean absolutely nothing. In the beginning, this is 100% a guaranteed grab. If you see this, just grab it. It's going to help you. Right now, it's pretty much worthless. We no longer even need this. I'm going to get rid of it for the sake of this explanation so it's not there when I'm done, just so you can see that it's no longer necessary. Both of our property certificates, I pretty well explained those as we built them. Again, without the surgery machine, the only difference is you won't have this. You can still get this, and you can still use the method to get the extra, to have the 2 extra charm slots by holding on to that guy. The only difference is if you have the surgery machine, you can get both of them. The dolls. Personal trainer. This one is probably the most important doll, especially early on. The tickets are obviously great because it helps you with charms in the slot, but this repetition is where you're going to get your money. If I get one single run for E13 of lemons, that's wonderful. But if I get 3 symbols on those 3 lemons, I no longer get that E13. I get 3 times that much for the exact same symbols. 100% necessary. This here is a must-have. Grab this charm every single time you see it, almost regardless of build. I honestly cannot think off the top of my head of a time where you would not want to have that. But I'm sure there's a build. It's not coming to mind right now. But 99% of the time, this is going to be useful. Always get it. This one, same thing here. Early on, this is actually really nice if you can get it in one of the earlier rounds. It becomes less prominent later since your values are already going to be astronomically high. But still, I recommend getting it, regardless. Even if you're already at the exponential point we're at, there's no reason to not have your multipliers be getting increased. It just helps in every way. Not a 100% absolute must-have, but I would say get it every time and treat it like it is a must-have. Mad Emperor. Ignore the Emperor. Use one of the 2 other dolls. The King... I can never remember what they're all called. Let's see if I can find it here. Mad Emperor is right there. Either the Greedy King, Raging Capitalist, or Naughty Dealer, depending on which build you're going for. Usually 2 of these 3 are useful regardless. Keep them. If you don't have the surgery machine, you don't need to have this guy. And I would even say that if you have the extra charm slots like we do now, I could get rid of him and have the other 2 dolls and still be at 17 of 17. Which is better. That is a better option than having this guy. I just did this to save the space earlier when we needed it, and to kind of showcase how it works. It's a very cool charm to have, but it's less beneficial than its counterparts are individually. Having 2 of the 3 dolls is better than having this doll, which is all 3 combined. Abstract Painting. Whenever you see at least 1 pattern with 5 symbols during a spin, double the value of all patterns until the end of the round. This is a huge one, especially early on. It's very nice. As soon as you start getting to the point to where you are commonly seeing 5 symbols in 1 pattern on your screen, it's worth having this. It ends at the end of the round, which, of course, sucks. It's not the end of the deadline. But, again, there's not a lot of things that increase your pattern multiplier. And it just helps. It makes you more money. There's no reason to not have it. This guy, optional, 100%. The 2 extra spins per round, it's great in the first deadline or two when you can use the extra spins for the extra cash. At this point in time, it does nothing. I mean, all it does is give me more chances to trigger things, but I can do that 100 other ways if I wanted to. It's just here because we have the extra charm space. Bell pepper. I've already said this like 30 times this round, I'm going to say it again. This is the best luck charm. 100%, no questions asked. Get this every single time. Fruit basket, depending on which build you're using. Right now we went with lemon, or if you're with cherries, it applies the same way. Get this every time, it just triggers extra times. No reason to not have it. Very useful, and it stacks with all kinds of other charms. This guy here adds the chance to be repetition onto a charm. This guy also adds repetition onto those same exact charms. So if we get one that has that symbol on there, it's already going to retrigger. This is just going to retrigger it again. More retriggers is just better. In every way. There's no reason to not use that as well. Symbols multiplier, +1 for every 5 tickets. This guy we've held on to for a long time because we have tickets being built up. It's very useful for this build, especially getting yourself set up. This is 100% necessary if you're doing the ticket build. It is like the lifeblood of that build. This number can become astronomical. We're only at 130 right now with 364 tickets. Imagine when you have an exponential number of tickets, basically, what this value comes out to be. You could have this to be lemons at worth 2 still. If this is into the E's, or exponential values, it's still going to be 2 times that exponential value. So, it's a massive amount. Very, very useful for every build, specifically needed for the ticket build. I'd also argue that for this build, it's kind of lifeblood. You can get around it without using this, but this is going to make your life significantly easier. Make sure to get it if you see it. This guy just triggers our random charms twice as often. I only got that for this. There's a couple of other charms we've used throughout the run that helped with, but this is the primary reason we have it. 15% chance for our symbols to have the repetition modifier. Same thing applies for everything else that we've got for repetition. It's just useful to have it. This guy is great because it's for lemons and cherries. We went with lemons or cherries to start with, ended up with lemons. So it's just a good option. If you're going for a different symbol, obviously you don't need that, but for this, it worked perfectly. This guy here, symbols multiplier +14. Because of our charms triggering so often, this goes up fairly quickly. The downside is, if I spin right now and don't win anything, none of our charms trigger, and therefore this resets. So we would lose that 14. But for now, it's useful, not necessary. This could be replaced with any other charm that you wish to use. This is the bread and butter. The very big mushroom is 100% the most important thing that we have here at this point in the game. Early on, it doesn't matter. You're not really going to trigger 15 patterns that often, unless you get very lucky with your charms and you have repetition. And like, you went with lemons, you got a repetition modifier charm, and you have the fruit basket. Then sure, pick this up right away because you can get 15 pattern triggers pretty easily at that point. But without having any repetition, you were never going to get 15. Even a jackpot, I don't think, is 15 without a single repetition in it. So it's not worth it until then. However, as soon as you get to that point, the best charm, hands down, for this build, as it is right now, this is the reason we have this kind of value. Without this, this would be a fraction. And not only that, it'd be a fraction, and at the end of every single round that we finished, our last spin, it would reset to that fraction again, because these guys only last until the end of the round. End of the round, just like that. End of the deadline. This is the king. You need him, 100%. And then, of course, the wheelbarrow. We chose that because it's lemon modifier for tickets. If you went with cherries, you can choose that symbol. If you went with clovers, you could pick that charm instead for that symbol. There's a charm like this for every single symbol. I only picked this one because it's lemons, and we went with lemons. Pretty self-explanatory. Choose whatever symbol is going with whichever symbol you choose. Or, let me rephrase that. That was confusing. Choose whatever charm that goes with whatever symbol you are using for your build. There. That makes more sense. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. You don't need it. Outside of that, we're going to go ahead and just finish this off with our last set of spins, and that will be the end of the video. I hope this works out better than the other video did. I had a lot of people that really liked the other video, said it helped quite a bit and it worked for them. but there was tons of people in the comments that I'm guessing were just newer players, so they weren't as familiar with the charms and things and how they worked, which I get. I would argue that that first guide was more of an intermediate guide. I kind of assumed that you had already had a basic understanding of all of the charms, synergies, and things like that. This video is basically right out of the box. You could be a brand new player. If you've only played long enough to unlock half the charms or most of them, you can still do this. This should help you out regardless of how adept you are at the game. If you have almost no understanding, this should work for you. If you're already a master, I'm not sure why you're watching my videos because you probably know more than I do, but if you're here, I assume it's because you wanted to learn something new, and I hope that this also helped you do that, regardless of how much you already know. There should be a little bit of everything in here for everybody. The main goal, though, is that for the new players, the people that have zero understanding of the charms and how they work and stuff, that this will help you get to this point. I see people on Reddit all the time asking how to win rounds, how to get to exponential values, and all that other stuff. This is the perfect way to get yourself set up to be able to do whatever you want. I said it 2 deadlines ago, and I'll say it again now. We're so far set up that you could, in theory, just sell every single charm we have here and start completely from scratch. It wouldn't matter. We have E18. Our deadline is nothing compared to that. We could skip 10 deadlines and still be able to afford it. So this is the perfect opportunity for you to experiment. If you have already beaten the game or gotten the key and you just want to mess around, do that. If you want to grind out card packs, do that. I can end the round right now, this deadline, and the next deadline we can spend all of this money on card packs, which is probably what I'll do to end the video. Sorry about that, I bumped my mic. I'm sure that's going to be loud, but I apologize. There. Alright. We have E19. Everything has been established. We have all of the charms that we needed. We've got our symbol values astronomically high. I mean, our lemons are worth E12, almost half of E13, with a 147 multiplier right now. We've completely demolished everything we needed, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the card pack strat now. Once you get familiar with how to do this run pretty well, you'll be able to do this basically every time. And this is how I grind up my card packs. The reason I can make all those videos with the First Love card is because I have E19, and my debt is only 6 million right now. So I come in here and I say, yeah, sure, why not? There you go. There's a card pack for you. Now I'll go ahead and pick one. See what we get. First Love. There's one right there. Super useful. It's probably my favorite card, honestly. Mostly just because I like to break the charm slots and just mix everything I can together. Yeah, let's skip it. So we get 2 packs this time. So there we go. Heartbreak, Consequences. Nope, First Love, Consequences, and Heartbreak. We got another First Love. 2 First Loves. And a Let's Go Gambling. There we go. Now we'll get 3 card packs. There we go. Dangerous Experiments, Important Choice. Oh, Expensive Love. There's that. Got another First Love, Recovery Attempts, Delusions of Grandeur. Another First Love. We have 12 First Loves racked up right now already. Sacrifices and Fixation. And now we can skip another deadline. So on and so forth. You get the idea. The point is I can skip like 7 or 8 of these, and every single time you get an additional card pack for skipping it. So now we're up at 4. The next one will be 5, 6, etc. You do this like 2 or 3 times and you'll have enough cards to run as many rounds as you want experimenting. So again, I don't want to see any complaints in the comments about the cards usage. We didn't use a single card for here, and using the same exact method even without the cards, you will be able to grind as many card packs as you want, and then you'll never have to worry about it again. You can use the cards that I use. Again, the First Love card doesn't really do anything outside of just speeding things up for you. With the First Love, when we doubled our symbols value, it would have just doubled that again for us right then and there. If you do it 6 times, then that's 6 extra doubles that you got because of that card. If I increased my charm slots that one time, it would have worked for that, so we'd had 18 slots instead of 17. It helps a little bit for plenty of things that you do, but it doesn't make or break any of them. So if you don't have the First Love card, it doesn't matter. Like I said, we didn't use a card. There is none. No active card here. And we beat it. If you do have the First Love, there is no reason to not use it. Unless you're using a different card for some other build, use it every time. It's just a great card. There we go. Another First Love. It's just so crazy. So many cards. And, oh my god. We just got a First Love jackpot right there. And another one. We're going to have over 20 First Love cards just by the end of this. Now we finally made it there. It is now E22. So that was the end. I'm actually not going to go too far. I mean, we could technically go through and finish up this guy. I could sit here and spin again to get my symbol multiplier up, pay off the E22, all that other crap. We could grab this guy and look for another doubling the value kind of a thing. But it doesn't matter. The point is you see how this works. Exponential value. Instead of paying off all those deadlines, we could use the last 4 deadlines, and I could have just continually doubled this over and over and over and over again. This might be worth well over E22 by itself right now. So a single lemon might be worth more than your deadline by this point in time. It's really up to how you want to play it. Like I said before, too, you can always get rid of all these guys and switch it up. You want to do a 666 run? Switch to that instead. Obviously, you would have not skipped all the red phone calls like we did, but you could also do like the holy phone run. At this point, you're basically set for that as well. Whatever you want to do, this should get you there. Now, I hope this was actually helpful to you. If you do have any extra questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I do go through and I usually respond to them. If I get enough questions about a specific thing, I can just do a video addressing that specific issue. But I feel like this should cover almost everybody's questions. This covers basically every single thing of the game from start to finish for this style of build. This should be able to get you set up. Like I said, you can grind card packs doing this. You can at least beat the game if you'd like. There's a million different things you can do. Had we had all the limbs and all that other stuff, this guy would already be set and open. We could have popped this key. I think it's on like deadline 11 or something like that it opens. I can't even remember because I almost never use the key anymore. It doesn't matter. But for your first time beating it, just make sure you have all the limbs and you grab the skull. And same thing. By this point in time, this guy would have already opened up. You could have grabbed the key at any time, open this door, and you're done. You just leave. That's it. You won. There's other endings that I'm not going to spoil. There's plenty of other videos if you are interested in that, but I feel like if you're watching a video like this, you probably haven't even finished the game fully yet, and I don't want to ruin the secret endings. So just know there's a couple of those you can work towards. But for the primary one, yeah, corpse pieces and the skull. 4 limbs, 1 skull. By this point, I think it's, like I said, deadline 11 or something, maybe it's 12. This guy opens up, you can grab the key and you're done. You beat the game. If you wanted to go to exponentials, well, you beat the game. We're already there. If you wanted to switch up your build and do something else, you're set and ready to do so. This should cover every basis. So I hope this helps. I really do. It was a long video. I did not expect nearly 3 hours for this. So I really do hope it helps because this was a lot. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you all later.